This episode is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/Wicked Theory. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
You're listening to the Wicked Theory Podcast.
We're very happy to have you back, even for a short visit.
And here we go.
I guess I need a mic. Broadcasting live from the center of the city of 1,000 podcasts. This is the Wicked Theory Podcast. Cha-cha-cha, Great Kookamuga Kitchen here is coming to you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is the Wicked Theory Podcast, episode 115. My name is Bill Sweeney, and every week I assemble a small crack team of commandos of comics and comedy. We'll see how that goes. And this week, as usual, we got Uncle Jay.
Yep.
In a cloud of smoke. Sometimes I can't tell if it's time. I can't tell if it's time to just right.
This is my quit smoking
If it's all part of the bit.
in here.
And then we got Ed.
I hate to burst your bubble, but if you build houses this small, who's gonna live in them?
That's what I say all the time. And then I got my brother Bob on guitar hanging out.
Hello.
Hello.
I was going to try and say something, but then
You know,
I just started laughing.
sometimes it ain't easy around here, folks.
Taking it easy.
There's no singing. There's no singing rule.
Oh, okay.
No, there's no math rule, no sports rule.
No politics.
Only I sing.
Yeah.
No. So no singing. I'll have to put that down. We'll have a meeting.
And he's actually writing it the fuck down,
But
too.
it comes right. It should go right after the
singing.
no colonoscopies rule.
But
For
Phil,
Ed.
it's
Ed.
involuntary.
We
the rest-
fall in love on the carousel.
The rest of us can sing. You're just not.
It's involuntary.
And Ed's allowed to have colonoscopies. The rest of us
Hey,
don't.
hey.
I guarantee you, no one else up here has actually sung on stage in front of people.
I did.
Let me drop some involuntary manslaughter on you and see if that's still like that holds up. Oh,
I
it's
played Danny Zuko in Greece once.
Okay.
I'm not sure why you got a bell,
Go
but
grease lightning.
why not?
Why not?
Why not? So this is episode 115.
Sandy. Sandy.
Oh. We're going to get to some nerd news. This is a big week. Live right now, not here, but across the country. San Diego Comic-Con is taking place.
Yep.
Two of my friends are there.
That's nice.
Comic-Con.
It is nice for them.
You got friends.
Well, it's very nice. It's usually very nice in
a lot of
San Diego.
people like me.
Yeah, well,
Quick shout out to
maybe.
someone who we know.
We do.
A regular at our local comic shop, Evan Dorkin and his wife Sarah Dyer. Both,
Yeah.
They won an Eisner yesterday
That's
No
right.
way.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Eisner Award, one of the big comic book industry awards.
for best single issue or one shot for the one shot of Beast of Burden that came out this year.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's great stuff.
Didn't you pick that up?
Congratulations. I don't know them, but congratulations.
I thought I saw you.
I don't have the
thought I
one
saw
shot. I don't have the issue in particular. Maybe I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I did. That came out early in the year, right?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. See, that's the thing about Eisners. They give them out in July, but it's
Yeah, I'm like
but
trying to
it's from
think.
it's from the year before. So in 2016, they had
Well, yeah. All right. So
They
congratulations.
got to
to them.
read all of them, you know.
Yeah.
yeah.
Every Darkin, local talent. So congratulations to them. But we're going to cover some other San Diego news coming out of Comic-Con. We're going to have the DC TV report later on as the transition between this show and the after show.
Yep.
We're going to get to some emails.
Meanwhile,
We'll do a section called Meanwhile
Quick spoiler: first retro pick that I wasn't kind of into.
in the DC TV report.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that. And you know what? When you said exactly what thing that retro pick is, I wasn't into it either. But hey, it is what it is. Maybe you need to stray away from the random generation.
No, I think that's.
I know you're using a randomizer to figure out what episodes to do for the retro pick. Maybe it needs to be a little more planned out. I don't know. That's my thing. Who am I? You know what I
We'll
mean?
see. We'll see.
We'll see what the.
Well, let's put it this way.
Let's put it to
Let's
the
ask
fans.
Bob Bowie.
It's a
Adrian Palmer.
randomizer.
Hey, both.
It's a randomizer, but I set the number of times I hit the randomizer.
Right, fair enough. Like, I just keep hitting it until I hit something that seems interesting. I
You
would
keep
have.
hitting the randomizer until it randomly wins for you.
There you go. Till you get what you want.
Yeah.
That's good.
I'm not,
There's no oversight committee on this operation. All right,
no,
so
no, I'm not watching the Aquaman pilot from 1985.
again, not for the fourth
Yet
time.
I'm not
What's
ready.
wrong with that?
I'm not ready.
That?
I'm
That
not.
kid was cute.
I don't think emotionally I'm ready for it yet.
Oh, okay. All right. I got you. I can follow that. So, yeah, we are going to get to emails later on. People can send us emails. Send them to podcast@wickedtheory.com. And then, we mentioned the after show. If people stick around, there's an after show every week. And then if you listen to us live, that's the place to catch it. But if you miss us, you know where you can find that? You can find that over on the Patreon. And what a great way to support us and keep the show going.
Please.
For only a buck, it gets you the 4 monthly after shows plus a whole back catalog of that stuff. And why not? You're always looking for a little bit more.
Yeah.
And it's a looser show. It's a looser vibe. You should probably check it out.
$1, $2, $3.
Or listen to us live.
Something
Hey,
like
look,
that, yeah.
$1, $2, $3.
$2-3.
Saturday nights, what are you doing? 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know what that time that is in your town or your country, but, you can come listen to us.
Who does anything on a Saturday night?
That's what I mean.
A couple of fuzzholes.
Look, there's 4 guys right here. 4 out of 5. The 5th guy is missing. He's doing something. And the one that we know that's on this show, he's working. So what kind of option is that?
That's true.
It's Dominic. You know what I mean?
That's true. And people will usually say
Dominator.
they're hanging with their lady friends. I'm sure their lady friends would enjoy us.
I wonder.
They enjoy me. I know that.
We do have at least one
I think
regular
us
lady
playing in
listener.
the background would definitely bring a certain mood to the room.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, sure.
Definitely change the mood.
It's a big hit in households everywhere.
Hey, I'm a hopeless romantic. I really am.
And if you want to hear us on
Truth.
your TV, download the TuneIn app that you can see. Yeah, I had it on my PlayStation. I used to listen to us. Or
I have it on my Xbox.
iHeartRadio. We're on iHeartRadio. If you want to listen to us there, you can find us on iHeartRadio.
Wow.
Yeah, did you know that, Ed?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Wow. So
Fancy.
It's like I can listen to Q1043 and then us.
Yeah. If you want to do that.
You can make your friends think we're on Q1043.
You like listening to 3 songs an hour? That's wonderful. Very nice. And it's the same fucking 10 songs in rotation.
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
and they were all outdated in 1974.
Like, I cannot listen to You Shook Me All Night Long anymore.
Modern classic rock
If
radio.
I never hear that song again,
It's like
it'll be too soon.
We've got 10 bands we play. We play 4 songs from each band, and that gets us through the everyday. And then we shake it up and play the same shit over again tomorrow.
Clear
7 of the songs are decent songs, and then
Oh, yeah.
suddenly it's Carly Simon.
Yeah, that's the deep cut.
Clear channel, baby. This is
Yeah.
what the focus groups tell us people want to hear.
You're
yeah.
so vain.
It pays the bills. Go after
Nothing
yourself.
offensive for anyone.
So, speaking of nothing offensive, go check out Preacher vs. Preacher. That's back because the Preacher TV show is back, and that's the other show we do. Well,
Although
not
that may
all of us.
that may or may not become more and more offensive as the Preacher TV show season comes
I was
on.
setting something up there. I couldn't figure out a way to get to it. I'm glad you brought
Has
that
it not
back
been
around.
good?
No, it's good. It's just, the lucky for us, the main hook of Preacher vs. Preacher is comparing the book to the show.
Right.
And
I know.
I don't have to compile much facts from the book. I'll tell
Okay.
you that.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
It's like, I should, like next week, I
they
think
took
I
a
have to
couple-
do
yeah.
research a little bit. Like, I definitely have to crack the books
Well,
open.
no,
'cause-
okay, so I got a question.
Okay.
In the flashbacks from last week's episode, with Jesse's hair, was that the hair from
that
the
is-
comics?
Yes. That is from the comics.
yes.
That's a new bit we do on the Preacher vs. Preacher. When we find something that matches, we ring the bell. Because we
Yes.
know we're not going to ring it too much.
No. and
So
I
it won't
think
become annoying.
We actually got it twice last week.
We got it twice last
and that
week.
was once the week before.
Well, yeah, like a stunted kind of like half ring the week before. Looks like next week we'll be ringing it a bit as we get some Saint of Killers backstory. So from the previews.
Well, it looks like we'll get backstory. We might not actually.
who knows?
It might
who
not
knows
be
what they'll
backstory
do with
from
it?
the book.
Who knows? Yeah, right. Yeah, we say we gave you a origin.
Yeah, and
it's
this
not the origin you're used to.
And this goes along with my theory. You don't trust Canadians,
Right.
dogs,
Yes.
canines, or little girls.
Okay.
That's like my limit right there.
Right.
Or vampires named Cassidy.
But I'm not even going to get into how that applies, that rule. I'm not
Speaking
sure.
of dogs, how's your dog doing?
Oh yeah, how
Not
was
my
Mitzi?
fucking dog.
That poor fucking dog, man.
That
Yeah,
poor
he-
dog.
he-
Oh,
we
that
heard he
poor
likes
dog.
you a lot, right?
That poor dog. Jesus.
Yeah.
All it wants to do is love you. All it wants to
It's a
do.
German
no,
Shepherd.
no,
How can you not love that
All
dog?
it wants to do is eat him.
All right, so
Let's not get into it because I have a feeling that the audience is hostile towards me already. If they understand that I don't like dogs,
Yeah.
that's just
Everybody-
gonna
yeah.
add a
Well,
whole other layer to it. Like I'm gonna get so much hate mail from people.
Poor Max.
Why don't we just tell him it's a little PTSD? You know, give him a PTSD story.
I mean, since I try to explain it to Dom, like he hasn't even looked me in the eye.
yeah, well, I don't blame him. Really, it's a struggle for me. But you're sitting across, so what can I do? Also, people go check out our Spider-Man episode. If you've seen the movie now, we did a recap special, our take and
Yeah, we
breakdown.
did an awesome review.
Yeah, we were proud of it. I mean, we had a good time. I don't know how factual and
It was
stuff.
the king of the 5-star reviews.
Here we go. Here it comes, folks. Let's go. Not yet. We're
yet.
getting
You don't
there.
see me doing a fucking thing. I'm just.
I'm looking
Review.
around.
I'm giving the review
Right.
episode.
Oh, okay.
5 stars.
All right. On your personal scale.
Yes.
So it's 4 stars, is what you're saying.
I'm saying it's actually more like 12.
Well, we're gonna get to it. Okay, so in the chat room, because we're talking
27?
about what?
27 stars.
Shut up. Well, okay, in the chat room, because we're talking about San Diego Comic-Con. Why don't you guys? Who's in there?
We got Wesley. We got Zombie John.
We got the twofer. We got the two most committed guys to the
Yep.
show. We saw Zombie John in real life the other day.
Yes, we did.
We did. We saw him at the comic shop. Mm-hmm. And he kept a safe distance, which was good. I mean, I did too.
Well, he understands that there's a fan perimeter.
Well, it was bad timing for John because John came over. He was like, "Hey, what's up?" But you had just walked in too, so I was engaged in a conversation with you, and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden John was gone, and I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm sorry." Yeah. Sorry, John. But hey, John, thanks for hanging out, buddy, and Wesley, you too. Why don't you guys give us some?
Get those hearts going.
If I was with you and you pointed him out, I would have went up to him and said hi.
You probably would have shook him down for $5. You probably would have.
I don't shake nobody down for $5.
We
Not for $5.
No, I don't shake people down. I don't do
Oh,
that.
fair.
we got to
No
take
more.
it down to the shop one day before the show.
We should. We should.
Do I know those people? No, I don't. Right?
No. You don't like them.
I don't want to know people.
You don't
anyway.
want to know
You
people.
don't know. You don't
I
want to
don't
know.
really-
I
only
know
this
who I
circle.
know.
I know who I know, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I like when the circle grows very slowly. Okay, at my pace. All right. I'll let
I'll
people
smack anybody in the mouth for anyone at this table. That's what I'm
So
saying.
you'll like this comic shop. Let's just put
I
it
like
that
every
way.
comic shop. It's fine.
No, this one I think is a little
I
different.
gotta send you a clip. You know who Joey Diaz is? Comedian Joey Diaz.
Yes, I do.
So there's a clip of him with some other comedian, and he's talking about a million fucking things, but he's talking about that he's old school, and he's like, it sounded very much like Jay right there, where like, we just did our thing. We don't need to know nobody. We don't need you in our circle. You want to say hello, hey, what's up, whatever, right? Where's the thing? Yeah, I don't know, no. Nobody knows nothing. We keep to ourselves. Very old school. He's like an old school Italian comedian. Well, he's not even Italian. It's Joey Diaz. You know what I mean? But he just grew up in Brooklyn or some shit.
Yeah.
But I had to send Jay the clip because it was like, I just related to it too much where it's like, oh my God, I'm one of these guys. Where it's like, I'm good in we're good in our little bubble. Back the fuck up.
If we knew each other when we were younger, we would have definitely had some trouble.
Yeah.
We would have had some.
We were
problems.
outside the bubble at that point. But give us some, in the chat room, back to that. Let's get some shit back on track here. Give us some rejected Comic-Con panels, because it's San Diego Comic-Con time. So let's do some related to Comic-Con. And give us some rejected Comic-Con.
Let's talk about the Willow retrospective.
Well,
Yeah.
that would probably get a pass. That they would, if they can get Val Kilmer and who's alive from that movie besides him.
Everybody's still alive.
Just kidding.
Well, the dwarf is still around.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was his name? He's been in a
Don't
million things.
their hearts explode when they hit like 31, 32?
How about the Space Hunter Adventures in the Forbidden Zone panel?
There you go.
The
There you
reunion
go.
panel.
There you go.
Or the Metal Storm, the Destruction of Jared Sin panel.
Yeah.
There you go.
you
Let's
go. Molly Ringwald ain't doing anything.
Yeah.
She can come back.
there you go. How about
Actually,
that?
to be honest with you, people like Michael Ironside was in that Space Hunter. Peter Strauss. You would get these guys anyway.
Oh, they'd be in the hallway.
Yeah, they're in the- yeah,
they're in the
exactly.
audience. You don't even realize they're not even being bothered.
Which is crazy because Peter Strauss is actually attached to one of the best miniseries of all time, which was Rich Man, Poor Man. I don't know if you've ever seen that. Nick Nolte and
I
him.
grew up with my parents watching that.
Yeah, that was great stuff, man. It's good stuff.
And Michael Ironside.
Falconetti.
And Michael Ironside's been in everything.
Yes.
That guy's.
Well, he's pop culture, like royalty.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Well, he's one of those guys who just worked his way up from like D movies, not even B movies, like
Yeah.
D movies.
Right. To like D plus.
Straight into
Solid
summer
Bs.
blockbusters,
Yeah,
man.
solid
Total
Bs,
Recalls.
Yeah. He's got a really,
Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
See, I remember him in V,
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
and then he was in like he was on the Paul Verhoeven
Circuit.
circuit. He was doing all
then
his
wasn't
movies.
he in? He was in Terminator Salvation.
Yeah, he was in that. Yes, he was. Which I didn't think was half bad.
And he was Captain Cold's dad on The Flash.
All right, now I'm done.
A couple years ago.
You bring up the fucking
Scanners.
the Flash,
You gotta bring up
That's right.
Scanners.
That's right.
So we could spend all day literally with that guy's IMDb. You really could.
Oh yeah. And
After
it just
show.
Covers, it just covers everything. It's like a who's who of sci-fi.
Yeah.
All right. So what about this show? What are we gonna do next?
We're talking about things on this show.
I know we're talking about things.
Things.
We could
What
do
kind
news.
of things? What kind of things?
We could do news. We do news.
Let's do news.
Let's do news.
Let's do news.
We'll put it to a vote. Bob says news. Ed says news. Jay says news. I think we're gonna do news. San Diego Comic-Con, baby. It's in effect. News o'clock. News o'clock.
Free bird!
Righteous, baby, real righteous.
All right. We got good news from
Yeah?
our buddy Todd.
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 Yeah, so,
McFarlane.
Yeah, Blumhouse has announced that they will be producing a new Spawn movie that will be written and directed by Todd McFarlane.
And he's going to be the voice of Spawn
Guys,
too.
guys,
right?
guys. I don't know if you saw me coming in the back, but it's me, Todd. Hey, what's going on? I could just take over the segment right now if you don't mind. I could just run through it real quick.
Tell us everything, man.
So Spawn is coming back, and it's gonna be spookier, scarier, stranger,
Just more spawnier.
more spawny, more salacious. Some might even say scrumptious. But it's definitely gonna
Is it going to be sensual?
sensual. Well, at times. But we got no Sam or Twitch. But we're thinking maybe we'll have him in the shadows, or doing some kind of something spooky related. Spawn's gonna come in though. He's gonna be the mischievous, malevolent guy in the dark.
Some kind of super sensory science fiction stuff?
Now, Todd. Now,
That's true. Bob says it's true. Super sciencey. What was say it again?
Super sciencey sci-fi stuff.
Super sciencey sci-fi stuff.
Todd, is it true you're writing and directing?
This is serious.
Yeah,
This is,
it says here you wrote the first draft.
I wrote
How long did it take you to write that first draft?
a couple times it kept on getting wet. When I would kind of read back the stuff I was writing, the pages would get damp, so I had to rewrite. A lot of rewrites. But it's
did
good
you-
now. It's good. It's great. I mean, I think we've got something outstanding.
Todd, did you end up with all sorts of little bits and pieces of paper in your pocket, like in Superman 4?
When Richard Pryor comes into the room and he's like, "I got the plans. I got it all figured out."
Yeah.
Three.
Superman 3.
Something quite like that. Yeah.
How many spit cups are you down to now?
I just wear a bib most days.
Okay.
And
It's actually a spittoon
there's
around
a-
his neck.
it's kind of like a retrofitted horse feed bag.
Now, I know casting hasn't been announced yet, but can you give us some of the players, like who you're looking at and you're courting?
It's super secretive. I'm running out of juice. There's no more juice in my mouth.
Any superstars? Any
Besides
special
Spawn?
guests?
This list is getting really juicy now.
Any
there's-
superstars?
I think you just drank your own spit.
Some stars, some celebrities. We're gonna keep it all secret for right now, but soon, very soon, there'll be some things that will slip out, probably of the shadows, into a news source near you.
There you go, Todd McFarlane, everybody.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate all the support and keep buying the plastic statues.
Is Martin Sheen coming back?
Because why does he always leave us the crappy Spawn toys that no one ever really wants to buy?
Just bring Martin Sheen
He's
back.
got to leave them somewhere.
Yeah.
They're the regular ones. We just spray paint them blue and just make less of them, and therefore they're chase variants. Who doesn't like a good chase variant?
That's
And then you can only find them at one store during one summer solstice
that's
per
enough,
season.
that's enough of that.
I apologize to anybody.
Congratulations, Todd.
Sykes.
Celebrity voices impersonated. You should probably say that.
It only
Yeah.
took 20 years to bring Spawn back.
That was not actually Todd McFarlane. That was Bobby doing a really great Todd McFarlane.
Yes, well, thank you very much, here, Bill.
There you go. All right.
All right.
Okay, so seriously, though, I am kind of interested to see what Todd does with that.
Me too. Me too.
It could be interesting. From where it's coming from and stuff like that, it could be interesting.
It gives John Leguizamo something to do.
You know? Oh, God, I just hope they don't bring John Leguizamo.
man.
But, I mean, you know, it's a whole different world now. So, you know,
He was the only named people. Him and Sheen were the only people
yeah.
known at that time.
Fucking Martin Sheen. They talked that guy into something. All right, so next bit of news is really cool. It's got me very curious, very, very curious. Noah Hawley.
Noah Hawley,
Hawley.
creator of Fargo. And
Well, the television show.
yes. I'm sorry. Yes, the creator of the Fargo television series and Legion.
Yes.
On FX.
Both shows quite a lot of love from this show.
Yeah, so this guy's tackled the X-Men, or at least he's one season in, and now he's landed on another Marvel property owned by Fox. Bill, tell him who it is.
Doctor Doom. So he lets kind of slip, or he just flat out said during one of these San Diego Comic-Con shows that he's working on a script, you know, for Fox that's just Doctor Doom. Like, you know, it's like whatever you do with that, I guess. But he's, you know, he seems to be incredibly talented. He's been shooting, you know, on nothing but a game. You know what I mean? So it's one of these things where it's like normally you'd probably be a little bit like, ooh, what is that gonna be? And granted, like it's still, you know, it could, you know, anything else it could fall apart, but like it's pretty exciting. It's pretty interesting, you know, just because it's him.
So we're not going to get like the Doctor Doom version of Sheldon that we're getting this fall, right?
What, the younger years?
Yeah,
with
the younger
Sheldon?
years, the formative years, you know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm guessing you're gonna get something like that, but that's the thing. We don't know anything
No,
about
you
it
don't know
besides
anything,
that
but-
he's doing it.
There's a wide sandbox for him to play. Because remember, he's isn't he like ruler of Latveria?
He's ruler of his own country.
Yeah.
His mother's in hell. Like there's a story where he goes to hell with Doctor Strange to try and get her back. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, that's a thing that kind of people don't really know on the surface. If you only know Doom on the surface, like, you know, he's got magic and mystic arts in his background.
So
He's not just technology based.
since his personal history is so entwined with Reed
Because-
Richards,
yeah.
are we going to be seeing some of Reed Richards?
It's a good question. It's a good question. How will they cover that? Because in the comics lore, that happens while he and Reed, I think, are at school. Or they're in
I
college.
think college.
Yeah, in college. Yeah.
Here's what I say you do. You do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Set it long after the Fantastic Four.
Right.
Like after, you know, he's an older guy trying to get his way in, and you cast the one guy with a foreign accent who you know can handle it and
Right.
has proven box office
Rutger Hauer.
from 40 years ago. No, not Rutger Hauer. The guy with a real accent that no one can understand. That's Christopher Lambert.
All right. Anybody want to
Jay,
do?
back me up.
Anyone want to do a Google search?
Well,
Christopher Lambert?
Yes.
first of all,
Don't
Christopher
pull the
Lambert.
don't pull the Colbert on me. You know everybody calls him Lambert. Fair enough. It might be
He's French. It's pronounced
I'm
Lambert.
sure that
Which is precisely
have
right
to
why
cover-
he's wrong for Doctor Doom, because he's French.
Yeah, and it's Christopher Lambert. Like like you know, as much as you want to call him Lambert, okay, he's a Lambert. He's not that good of an actor.
I mean, didn't we all just see a French movie recently that, you know, or a French directed movie
Oh, we're getting there.
We haven't gotten there
Well,
yet.
we'll get there.
that kind of was,
Yeah.
you know, not well.
I swear to God, he shaved his head and changed his name to Thomas Jane. I don't know how. That's my
Christopher
theory.
Lambert?
Yes.
Look, I don't know who you get for Doctor Doom.
if you to
It's all the Botox.
well, I mean,
Christoph
Mads
Waltz.
Mikkelsen would be perfect.
Mads Mikkelsen would be perfect, or even well, Mads Mikkelsen would be fucking the perfect.
Yeah,
Like you couldn't
that's
probably,
perfection.
you probably couldn't get better. I don't want to hear him with an accent, but visually, I could see what's his name, Michael Shannon, maybe.
Yeah.
Steven Seagal.
Christoph Waltz is too short, but we can get him on stilts, or something. Or when he's in the suit, he's just taller.
No, you just put those painter stilts on his legs.
You just pull some Hobbit
Right.
shit and just do some forced perspective when you shoot. That's all. Make him look
Yeah, but
normal height.
you just increased the budget by 10 fucking million.
By 10 million.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, fine. Give him boxes to stand on. But I don't know.
It's interesting news. I mean,
It is interesting.
I just wish that they had gotten Fantastic Four right by now.
Well-
but maybe this is the entryway to do it. If
Well,
you
here's
can
the
do this
thing.
right,
Yeah.
maybe they can go back and
if he's coming at this with a kind of a trajectory like that, if he's coming in like this is a backdoor plan, and adds on to something maybe with that, like I'm leading towards something. But like if it's from Doom's perspective as Old Man Doom looking back, then you can kind of set up a bunch of shit a little bit to present day. Because one of the things they're talking about too is that the kids might get a movie. Valeria and Franklin, or specifically more towards Franklin, Reed and Richards and Sue Storm's children.
Yeah, they said.
There's a hot buzz rumor running around that the Fox is looking at that.
Well, Franklin's got his whole.
They have their whole set of powers.
He's basically got his story. His is like parallels to Cable.
He's got that shit. He's
I mean,
omnipotent.
insanity level.
Yeah.
And the rumor is that Seth Graham-Smith is developing that.
Right. So I was thinking, well, if they establish some shit with Reed and Doom, and then the kids, it's the only piece missing to the pie. But those two kinds of franchises could infer and insinuate enough that when then Fantastic Four happens, it's already kind of there. It's a little pre-established in a way, and maybe
Well, I'm sure that's what
they-
Fox is hoping for because
Yeah.
they still want to have a success
Oh yeah.
with something on the level that Marvel's having.
Yeah.
And now it looks like DC could possibly start getting the ball rolling on.
Yep.
right.
So that's how that goes.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
so
yeah.
they're trying to plan that way, I'm sure.
Yeah.
See, but you got a good writer here. You know what I'm saying? You got a hot writer now. And the fact is that he's showing interest in doing something,
Yeah.
which is probably a passion project.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
they let him do this and let him get his way,
Yeah.
then maybe he can have some kind of
Yeah.
input on what a really good Fantastic Four film would be.
Right.
So this is a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
I'm going to cash.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four verse.
Fantastic Four.
All right. So, what do you think about this hot
So,
item?
Reboot report.
Reboot report.
We got two
Not
reboots.
really a reboot though. It's more of a
Restart.
Reimagining?
rebootquel.
The pre-boot quill.
The requel, I believe, is the actual term.
Well, no, they're actually they're still keeping faith to the film
Stargate.
for this.
Okay.
The Stargate
Stargate
is coming back.
The Gate of the Stars, starring Ricardo Montalban as the gatekeeper.
Welcome to Stargate Island.
Every week, fantastic people just come through the gate.
Every once in a while, Anubis comes in, tries to kill some people, but in general, we have him under control.
This week, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Oh, no one's gonna see this. I'm reading the article. No one is gonna see this.
So, what is the setup here? The Stargate is some renewed plan.
So it's a 10-episode digital series airing exclusive on MGM's new dedicated digital platform, Stargate Command.
Brilliant idea, man. Brilliant idea.
But that's not available yet, or is it something that's coming?
It's something that's coming.
All right, so
I mean, not to insult Stargate, but I don't know if that's the fan base you want to try and use to start up. I mean, is MGM out of properties like that are stronger than
no,
this?
they're still around. I mean,
Like,
I mean, they're around, but they don't have any big superhero properties.
Not even
This is
superhero
like-
properties, but just pop culture or sci-fi properties on any level that can't be mined.
the Hobbit is the only thing that they.
Besides
No,
Stargate?
that's New Line.
But it was also them.
Oh,
They
was it
owned-
Cobra?
And
Well, they had for the cartoon, didn't they?
no, the Hobbit. The reason why the Hobbit took so long to come out was because MGM had the rights to it.
Oh,
So they
and-
joint. It was a joint effort with New Line and Warner.
New Line had
So
Lord
now
of the
MGM's
Rings.
got some money in their pockets and they're trying to do something.
Because
They
New
can't.
Line also went bankrupt.
money.
So Warner picked them both up, but everybody got credit for it. So this is what MGM is doing now with a 10-episode deal.
And the outline on this, though, I think is it's like 1920s or some shit.
Yeah, like in the beginning of Stargate, when the old lady there,
Catherine.
when she finds the Stargate with her father, the archaeological artifact.
Wow, okay.
They're going to tell
Right,
that
right.
story to begin
Right.
with.
Yeah, it takes place right around the same time that they first were really excavating Egypt, like King Tut,
But
that kind of stuff.
Stargate had a lot of fans. There's a lot. There was a
Yeah.
big fan base for that show.
Well, also kind of like
I
got
watched most of the shows. Well, up until like Atlantis. I mean, it got convoluted at the end.
Yeah.
They were doing so many shows after a while. I watched the original show and then the first spinoff.
Stargate SVU.
Well,
Yeah,
I
kinda.
loved that movie. I love Stargate.
Yeah.
The first,
But
the
to
first
me,
film.
It's good.
I got so used to Richard Dean Anderson, I forgot he's playing the Kurt Russell part. That it's because they're
supposed to be the same guy.
Well, he
yeah,
makes it his
they're
own
so-
thing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
he's MacGyver in military.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
But he doesn't need to make anything, though.
Right.
He never
no.
has a need to make anything. No. But all right, because I know there's a fan base on there, so.
Well,
Yeah.
that might be the thing to get people to get this new MGM.
Well, that's what they're
digital
hoping.
thing. So
That's my
Yeah,
that's my
they're
issue.
doing the
is
same
just
thing
that
that CBS is doing with Star Trek.
I mean, I hope there's
Right.
no paywall, because if there's a paywall, they don't even have a shit of a chance.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why, like, I got
like Star Trek is like you might have a chance with that with a paywall.
You got to build.
But-
You got to build as an ad service first.
Well, absolutely. I
And
mean, I
then-
totally agree with
and
that
then-
on principle.
And then milk it later.
Well, MGM needs to bring more properties to their schedule.
Oh, absolutely.
And then if they do that, then they might get something.
Yeah.
MGM.
But there's enough stuff
going.
in their vault with old TV
Oh,
shows and
absolutely.
stuff that they
and if
could
not, I
throw
got
in
at least 3 in the
plenty of
can.
garbage.
MGM,
Oh.
call me up. We got like at least 4 ideas here at the table. Come on.
Yep.
Come on.
Absolutely.
They have a hand in James Bond too.
Well, now you're talking.
MGM, UA.
Not anymore. No, that's gone.
Are they done
Yeah,
with
yeah,
that?
well, actually, United Artists had it and they were combined, and then they split. So now I think Sony has the
Has the
properties
newer
now.
ones, but I think they're still attached somehow.
I mean, they probably have distribution on the old Bond
Probably.
movies, but they can't do any new content with it.
Next one. Jay, Invasion of the Body
I can't.
Snatchers?
What happened?
Invasion of the
The
Body
next-
Snatchers.
Yeah, so we're getting a 5th Invasion of the Body Snatchers film.
2 was enough.
That's right. That's Bob's best Donald Sutherland at
Okay.
the end of the second film.
I could only think of 3 of them.
Well, I can't scream into it because it's more of a scream.
This is the 5th time. The first time it was done was the 1956 Don Siegel movie,
Yes.
which everybody loves. It's a great sci-fi B flick.
Yeah.
Then they really went creepy as fuck with that remake in the 70s,
Yeah,
which
well,
I saw
yeah.
in the theater.
Leonard Nimoy. and-
Leonard Nimoy,
I
Donald
watched-
Sutherland.
I watched it repeatedly at home.
It's fantastic. It really is. It's a definitely an example of a remake can be done better. And then Abel Ferrara did his version in the 90s. I don't know if you've ever remembered that,
that one I don't remember.
It was his own take on it.
Well, maybe they should redo that one now.
Did that get a limited release?
It did. It was
Okay.
Warner Brothers. It was a Warner Brothers movie. And the thing is, I'm trying to think of one of the writers because it was a really good writer attached to it as well. But it's a very creepy story because Meg Tilly is. I remember Meg Tilly and
Yeah.
oh God, the girl from Scent of a Woman, Gabrielle Anwar. Remember her?
Sure.
Yeah, you remember the girl he tangos with.
Yeah.
Yeah, that girl.
The Tango Girl. She's credited, listed as Tango Girl.
But it's Abel Ferrara doing a Body Snatchers movie. That's all you really need to
yeah,
know.
no,
you know what I mean?
yeah, I mean, that breaks it down.
And then there was another version
What
with
was it- what was it
Nicole
called?
Kidman and Daniel Craig
That
called
one
The
I-
Invasion.
I remember coming in and out just because it was like, we have to release this, but it's really bad, so we're just going to bring it out for like 2 weeks.
Well, the thing is, if you're a fan of that story, like I read that novel, the Jack Finney novel. Each one of them has their merits. You know what I mean? The problem with the Nicole Kidman one is that they went with a happy ending. You know what I mean? They had everybody's fine. They found a cure and everybody's fine.
Jeez, I might have seen that
You know,
now.
the other 3
That
films
reminds me, I
they
might
end
have-
very bleak. They take over the fucking earth. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
what I
oh, yeah.
liked about the other
Yeah,
films.
you see all the bodies,
Right.
all the pods in the military trucks,
Yeah.
and that's when you know it's over.
The earth is fucked. Yeah, you know what I mean? This is just going to happen everywhere you go.
Yeah.
And all the first 3 films kind of end like that. but the Nicole Kidman version, you know, they gave it we had to give it a happier ending. We have to find a cure for this. But it was interesting nonetheless. Now they're getting a writer named David Leslie Johnson, who has written a handful of episodes of Walking Dead. He's written a couple of horror films, The Conjuring, Orphan, another thing called Orphan.
And what studio is this at?
Warner.
Gabrielle Anwar, I think, was the chick.
I just said it. Yeah,
Okay, you did,
Gabrielle
okay.
Anwar.
Yeah, Body Snatchers was the name of that movie.
Right.
That's why it was hard for me to find.
Now,
it.
who's the writers on that? I'm thinking of a writer that was really good at the time.
Hang on. It's Raymond, it's Theory, it's the Screen Story.
Simon
Larry
Pegg.
Cohen. I think those guys were Stuart Gordon.
Stuart Gordon, that's
yeah.
it.
I went to school with him.
I was close.
Stuart Gordon is the guy that did The Reanimator and From Beyond and
Wow.
you know, all those crazy.
He must have been so happy.
And he also co-wrote it with Dennis Polly and Nicholas St. John.
Nicholas St. John is
Okay, all
Abel
right,
Ferrara's guys.
I've obviously let you guys talk too long about
No,
this.
it's
Yeah, I
I'm
think
interested
so.
in it.
Who did craft services? All right. I'm just
Fucking
teasing.
interrupt me.
Supposed to double the output.
Interrupting me while I am interrupting you.
Oh, I can't believe.
I know what that's from.
I can't believe I got to use it. Oh,
Would you stop interrupting me while I am interrupting you?
I know that's from.
it's that Winston Churchill trailer.
Yeah,
Uh,
the Darkest Hour.
Darkest Hour. Great.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to it. It's a story I like.
I'm very happy that I got to use my sound clip. All right. So, also,
Little bell for Bill.
no, thank you. I achieved something. Also, this week, what's coming out of CITIC, as I like to call it, SDCC, is just tons of trailers. We can't possibly go through all these trailers, give you all these scoops with the San Diego Comic-Con.
I'm on Dark Horizons. I'm just going to go through some headlines.
Oh,
here.
yeah. What are you going to hit?
So,
Headlines, or are you talking about trailers?
I'm going to both.
Okay, fair enough.
Both. Everything. We got Dark Tower is going to have a short runtime. There's already probably one trailer. Iron Fist is replacing its showrunner for season 2. Yes, Iron Fist is getting a season 2.
Great.
Justice
The
League's
reprieve season.
Justice League's got a second trailer.
Yeah, we watched the
Going
Justice
through
League
here.
trailer. Ready Player One's got a great trailer. That's a book everybody was waiting for. Spielberg's new movie.
The X-Men TV shows of Gifted and Legion will not be crossing over.
Well, that's for the best.
Yes.
Legion had a panel, I think, at San Comic-Con, and it's going to be a little while for the show to come back.
Yeah. Archer season 9 is going to Danger Island. John Hurd passed away. That was not at San Diego Comic-Con.
The guy from Mr. Robots is planning a Bermuda Triangle film, which is interesting. You know, just based on the fact that it's from him. Otherwise, it would be like, eh.
There's going to be a Galaga animated series.
So for trailers, let's hit these real quick. Interesting trailers to watch. The Snowman, I watched that trailer just because I think it's a little campier than they want it to be. But also good trailers. Kingsman, Golden Circle, that was really good. Pacific Rim's got like a teaser kind of thing that's up.
Proud Mary. That's an
Proud Mary was actually pretty good. I watched the trailer for that.
And I saw one in the theater this morning for Mother. I don't know if anyone's mentioned that.
No.
It might have just been exclusive. So, but it's a treat.
Okay.
It's one of those ones where
Is that
it's
the Albert Brooks movie? No.
No.
Okay.
Is it a horror?
No, it's Aronofsky's new movie.
Oh, well, then-
And it's complete silence, and you just hear voiceover, and then there's one image at the end, and you're like, shit.
all right, we'll have to check that one out later.
Aronofsky's doing horror again, and he's fucking going for it.
We watched the trailer for David Ayer's Bright. That's the Will Smith thing coming to Netflix.
Yes, Alienation meets Lord of the Rings.
Meets Training Day, because it's like, you know, it's a little bit like that. But it's an interesting premise. It's just like, all right, just want what you do with it in the end. Also, there was something else. don't know, but Justice League really kind of blew us away. That's for sure.
Stallone finally
A little
confirmed
bit.
that Ivan Drago will be in Creed 2.
There you go.
There you go. There you go. Hot, sexy news.
We confirmed it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, well, all we had to do here was
Where's he been?
there was
Coming
all
out
we,
of retirement to beat up little kid, son of man I killed in Rocky 2.
Ben Affleck's future as Batman
Or 3.
is not certain.
he actually dispelled that. That was a rumor that was coming out this week
Yeah.
that was floating around, and he kind of shot that down at Comic-Con, probably because he had to.
Yeah.
But whether or not it's
See-
true or not, he kind of had to.
See, this is the thing now, because like every time he comes out, he says he loves being Batman, but every fucking 2 months now, a different person who has a source that's like really close, best friends with Ben Affleck, says that either he wants out or
The studio is okay with him
or
leaving.
Toby Emmerich fucking hates his guts.
There's always some kind of bullshit.
like this. Yeah.
But
being Batman.
I don't mind.
I'm being Batman right
Oh,
now.
there was Pacific Rim. There was a Ready Player One.
We talked also that the Flash movie is going to kind of reflect Flashpoint storyline, which is kind of like a weird place to start because it feels like the DC is like, let's just go for the biggest story we can every time. It's like,
Why are you upsetting Ed?
That's just
This is not my
upsetting.
fault this week.
That makes no sense.
I know.
That makes no like.
That's why they're doing it.
It's like years to build up to that.
Neither of those 5 stars.
You know,
Yeah.
but obviously DC's like,
You have
if,
to do 2 whole seasons of a TV show before you
can go and fuck that up, right? Because that's what they did.
Yeah, two 22 episode seasons.
Right, 44 episodes at least before you can decide how you're going to fuck that shit up.
Yeah.
Can I remind you the last time you guys spoke about Flash?
Yeah, it's
All
true. All right, fair enough. He's got us. He's got a point.
Fish.
Let's see here. Other things kind of popping up out of there. Charlize Theron is going to guest up on that show, The Orville. That's coming. That's Seth MacFarlane's Star Trek parody live action series.
Well, they're good friends.
We got a trailer for The Defenders from Marvel
Oh, okay.
Saw that. That's cool. Oh, good.
with some serious Sigourney Weaver and
Glenn.
three really cool comic characters and Iron Fist.
Scott Glenn, a stick again.
Scott Glenn doing his sticky thing.
Getting the yellow and purple outfit.
We talked about Preacher earlier. Preacher got a kind of like a little season 2 preview-ish kind of thing where we got to see a lot of Air Star.
And we got a new trailer for the Inhumans, new footage for the Inhumans.
Wish they didn't put that out.
Which is really confirmed that this show is going to be unwatchable.
Yeah, it's going to be like highly mocked. You know what I mean? It doesn't have a chance in hell.
We don't know until we watch it, man.
Look, don't get me wrong. Like, they've got some people in there who can act. But it's like,
Oh no.
is that going to be enough to save it from its trappings?
No, the critics have already bought the coffin for this show.
Oh, okay. We're just waiting for the cadaver to be slid inside.
Still opinion. Still opinion.
You're right. You're right. It
You're
is
right.
still.
You're
but
right.
We're saying the potential is high.
We're not judging. We're not telling you what the show is going to be like. We already know what the reaction is going to be.
Like I said, we got to watch it and then judge.
Yeah,
So,
and you know what? I'm one of the schmucks who's probably going to pay to see it in IMAX.
I'm gonna go to the IMAX.
yeah.
I am. I am too.
Well, on an experiment level alone, it's very interesting.
Like I think you'll be there, Bill. I'm
What,
sure
the
you will.
IMAX?
Yeah.
You tell me when we're going, and we're going.
Let's go.
All right. I have still yet to be into an IMAX. This
go.
is probably not the best way to start that experience, but whatever.
September.
You'll go with me to see an IMAX of Lethal
I
Weapon.
kind of blacked out when you guys said something, and I think now I realize what it was. You guys were talking about Inhumans.
Right.
I
Yeah.
heard the word, and I just
I don't. Yeah, I don't blame you. It's a psychological thing.
No, I really did. I was like lost.
You tuned out.
I totally tuned out automatically.
How do you think they convinced her to wear that hair? How do you think?
She was told it's
You
gonna-
signed a contract. You have to.
the magic of green screen, the magic of CG. She was just told it's going to look amazing. Meanwhile, it's the one hang-up they always knew they had with bringing this show to life. It's like, you might as well... It's the challenge of bringing realistic-looking fire to CG for years. Like, you could have done a whole bunch of things that were really realistic, but fire or real fluid movements have always been a struggle. And when that shit starts moving in that trailer, it's like... I don't know what it is. It's just fucking weird and it's not right. Jay, what do you think about that Walking Dead 5-minute season preview-ish trailer
Looks
thing?
great, man.
Yeah, right?
I've been on board since day one with
Sure.
The Walking Dead, you know what I mean? As a fan of the comic, as a fan of the show, as a fan of the field, I think this looks great, man. I think we're going to get that war. It's definitely been resurrected with Jeffrey Dean Morgan and his brilliant
Love it or hate it. Love it or hate it. The show needed it.
We're gonna get a war for the Planet of the Dead.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically.
No, it's a good trailer. It's a nicely edited trailer, I thought, coming from an editing standpoint here.
It's got a lot more gravitas and tone than I'm used to seeing, and I was immediately remorseful for the fact that I'm not going to have that in the show. Like these real kinds of like really well chosen hard shots, pensive stuff like that.
Well, that's just a problem with certain series now when they actually focus on one character for one show. And, You know what I mean? It sometimes
they don't have any
time.
Yeah.
I would rather be a mixed bag, but then I get it. I understand why they do it.
Yeah, I mean
times.
it's commercial television.
Right.
They're on such a tight time. They can't get fun and funky with it. Like it's not like Twin
but it looks
Peaks.
good, man.
It's not like Twin Peaks. What were you saying?
Well, I was about to bring us into the Justice League trailer.
Okay.
We're gonna let you go first, Ed. Don't worry.
How did the Justice League trailer make you feel?
Cautiously optimistic.
Still?
Yes.
I would think you'd be like next past that.
No. Like
You're
before-
getting closer to
before I
feeling
was
confident.
I don't know.
Right,
I don't
I
know.
got you. The percentage has risen. right?
You got to remember, he's the kind of pain he's experienced
Yeah.
as a DC
Oh,
fan
yeah.
has been more in tune to an emotional breakup.
Yeah.
It's PTSDC.
Which,
Yeah.
So
The last trailer was like
Nobody? Come on! God damn, this is a tough crowd.
PTDC. PTDC, right?
PS.
Post-traumatic DC disorder.
There you go.
Bob
Took out the stress.
Yeah.
It's just traumatic.
the last trailer was, I don't know.
Right.
It looks good.
Right.
This one was like, I don't know. It looks good.
fair enough. That's
I
a good
think it
point.
looks good. I think it's a definitely the best trailer so far.
Yes.
Cash.
Yeah, and the reason it's the best trailer because at the end there could have been a reveal and there wasn't.
Right.
So
who do you think it was?
Oh, we know who that is.
Yeah.
We know. We know.
Plastic Man, right?
Yes.
It's Plastic Man.
Exactly. Baby Plaz.
It's Baby Plaz, even better. You know?
Ragman.
It's Ragman.
Yeah.
Let's put it on votes. Let's start a pool.
It's Ragman.
$5 a head.
Yeah, no.
We each get 5 guesses and see who lands.
Yeah,
You
no.
can't guess the obvious.
No.
You know what I mean? And see if maybe it's a twist or a turn. Because I was thinking, that actually could be other than Superman.
Yeah, no. It's Nightwing.
You think it's Nightwing?
Yeah.
I'm thinking it might be Captain Marvel.
Really?
Yeah. Because I feel like in that frame, there's a tiny second where you see over the shoulder, and it feels like it could be red or it could be brown. I feel like they want you to think it's Superman's cape. You know what I mean? But if it's Captain
It's gonna be
Marvel's
somebody
cape
else.
flipped over his shoulder as it normally is, you know what I mean? And then he's got a red shoulder you could be peeking over as well.
Yeah.
But that's just me throwing it out there because it's like, are they gonna? Because there's talk like they have maybe a little bit of a plan for Captain Marvel somehow.
Well, no, they've announced that they're going to start shooting in April.
Well, that's what I mean, and they haven't cast anybody.
Yeah.
That we
Yeah.
know of.
Yeah, they've announced a shooting date. We have a director who's the same guy who just did the Annabelle sequel.
Right.
So we have a guy who's experienced in horror movies doing a lovable classic kids comic book character.
Good.
Yeah.
So
And they've also announced that Dwayne Johnson will not be playing Black Adam in this movie.
No, but they are setting it up. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which it's just like
Wouldn't you have that as the cliffhanger at least?
Well, no.
You know what I mean? Or the segue?
But to me, having Black Adam is good enough to have a solo movie. But it's like Venom. Like, I don't understand how you would do a Black Adam solo movie without having him clash with Captain Marvel
right.
first.
Yeah.
Like, the context makes no sense to me.
Right.
You know?
But then again, we don't run Hollywood. You know, sadly.
No, my vote's Channing Tatum. Like that's my vote for who I would pick to play Captain Marvel.
Yeah, it's not bad.
That's not a bad one.
It's not a bad one. He can do the
We just don't like we just don't like him for Gambit.
Yeah. Although I
no.
did see Hateful Eight, and he tries to do a little French in there, a little French. I think he put that in there himself, maybe.
Oh, yeah?
He's like, I'll try to slip in some Gambit, I guarantee. You know, he was like, oh, hey now, darling, or whatever. Some French line bullshit in Hateful Eight. I was like, I bet you he fucking's like, I have a 3-second.
That's his pitch.
I have a 3-second pitch reel for Gambit. I say 2 lines with a French accent. Please check it out. I guarantee you're
Makes
gonna
me
want
wonder-
you're gonna want to put a little bit of garlic in that, boy.
It makes me wonder how
he
much
probably just rehearsed it
screen
from
time
the
Superman
commercial.
will have in this.
And this, I hope, like, you know, that's it. He comes in for the last act.
Probably. Because it's carefully, either that or it's carefully edited.
Well, the fact that Alfred says, well, you did say you were coming. So,
Yeah.
What is, you know, you can't infer anything really from
Yeah.
that, but other than that, Alfred,
Yeah.
at the very least, just Alfred
But,
knew that this guy was coming.
But the thing is, like, this reminds, like, this was the same moment that we had with
Leatherface?
no,
Jason
no,
Voorhees.
in the Batman vs Superman trailer, this was the same moment that we had with
Wonder Woman.
Doomsday?
Doomsday.
Okay.
Yeah, that we had with Doomsday, and it was like they showed him to us, and we were like, "What the fuck is that?"
Yeah.
Whereas like here, they didn't show it, and I'm like, "Okay, that's good enough." Like,
Oh,
that's,
yeah.
Like
Well, it's
that,
only
that
that-
is the
yeah.
right choice. This is a much better edited trailer.
Yeah. And I would stick, if I was the studio, I would stick hard with not revealing if Superman's in it or not. Like, avoid that as the sell.
To the point where you find a way to not put his name in the opening credits.
Yeah. Even still, hold off the opening credits to that mid-roll credit thing that they do now, where they don't roll any of the main credit sequence and they just save it for the fucking very end.
Yeah, there's a
You know?
reason Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock. Leonard Nimoy's name is not in the credits. He
Yeah.
does not show up until the very end.
Yeah.
Right, and that's why I mentioned that, because he had to actually sign a special contract.
Well, no,
and they had to get special permission
Or some kind
from
of
SAG,
from the
right?
union, right?
Yeah.
Some special deferment or something, maybe.
yeah. Well, also he was directing the movie, and like he actually had to tell the marketing people because the first posters that they showed him had his name on the poster, and he's like, "You can't do that."
Yeah.
It's called The Search for Spock. We can't spoil it in on the fucking poster that they're gonna find me.
Maybe we just find his corpse. That's
Maybe.
all. I mean, we shot it into space, and we're like, shit. Fuck, where did it go?
Shit. Out of danger.
There you go. That's from fucking, you know, that guy.
Raffle,
It is
raffle
illogical to put Leonard Nimoy's name on the poster.
But all right, that's going to kind of wrap that up. I think that's going to bring us straight into talking about those kids in the chat room.
Yeah, the chat
Yeah.
game. So the hashtag was
No Palmer this week?
No Palmer this
What kind of
week.
shit is this?
He's got guests. He's got guests in
Stephanie's
town.
in town.
Oh, maybe a new producer.
Exciting and
Yeah,
new.
I saw her flying into Allentown on
Allentown.
Facebook.
So we're living here in Allentown.
What did I tell you earlier about the singing? I have it written down. No singing,
we need to
just
know
for
if-
Ed. That's a new rule.
All right. So the chat game was.
We need to know, I'm sorry, real quick before you get started, I just want to say we need to find out if Palmer shaved for her.
His face? His face.
Yes.
Okay. Phew. All right. Oh, yeah. It's a good question. It's a good question. It's a good question.
You meant like his balls or something?
I don't know. I don't want to know nothing about that. I'm talking about his face because you know
He's got a luscious beard,
Yeah.
which I would think would kind of like.
Did he do a little grooming when she was coming?
Actually, you know what?
I
He's got it trimmed down for the summer, I think. When you
Does
probably
he?
last saw
for,
that,
what, for the Mudheads game he goes to.
I guess.
I'm going to try to grow Mel Gibson's beard that he had. that doesn't.
I don't know if I have the patience. I don't know if
serious
I have
beard.
patience for that kind of shit.
So the cat.
I've tried a million times to grow like
Yeah.
one of those, like this, to let it go.
I'm
I
sorry,
can't do
I
it.
said all the
apocalypto
way into
beard.
left field.
Yeah.
So the chat game
Yes.
was rejected Comic-Con finals.
Oh, okay.
Guys.
Like panels that, like discussions, they'd be like, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah. So for the love of God, put on deodorant panel.
Oh, that's like instructional.
We've got How to Get a Girlfriend.
That's instructional too.
the Wicked Theory panel.
That's destructional.
Uncle Jay's Guide to Horror and Dating.
There you go. Ring that bell for me.
Informational.
The Tick AMA.
Okay, that's probably going on.
The new Doctor Who bashing crew. Have you wasted your life? Red Sonja review, which I reject because Red Sonja is a great comic book. I love reading those.
You might be talking about the movie because the Red Sonja movie
Oh, okay.
was not well received.
Further up, Chad says, I have no idea what I'm saying. I don't know if
okay.
Chad's actually got the hashtag down
Yeah.
right.
Mad Magazine's Graduates, Sink Your Teeth into Killer Croc,
Oh,
How to Love Plants with Poison Ivy, Chickalise's Cash equals 4 stars,
Cash!
question mark. The Huntress Hunts Us Down,
trashing and cashing with Uncle Jay.
That's right, boy.
Bob's Hand-Built Axes,
There you go.
Ed reveals his hate for Canada.
It's not a
can't.
review. It's
No.
pretty open.
Well, I think he means my reasons.
Well, you would need a whole panel.
I had a
It
bad
wouldn't be a panel. It would be
experience.
just you
Yeah.
and a list. There's nobody else. What do you need them for?
The Void and Sentry fill the hole.
I like this one from Wesley. How to rate movies.
Oh no. How to quote John Goodman with Ed O'Hare.
There you go. Is Captain Marvel DC or Marvel? Let's straighten that out.
Evidently, he's both.
Depends on where you want to go.
This is what I've been led to believe.
And I guess he's transgender as well then, too.
Marvel greats of the early 2000s. Is that a dig?
I don't know.
I mean, we could just say comic greats than mid 90s.
The intervention of Captain Haddock.
Friends of Ice-T.
What?
Pop Addicts Anonymous. Yeah, I could see that. The Mighty Meccan Manifesto.
I'm not familiar.
And another shot of Watka. I don't know what that is.
What's so funny with the Joker?
Okay.
What's so funny?
So that's the chat game.
Everybody wants to laugh and laugh until the bomb goes off. All right. So with that, speaking of bombs,
Bombs away.
Bombs away. I did a question of the week, and let me see if I probably should have jumped to that ahead of time, maybe a little bit.
What was the question?
It was what do you like most out of San Diego Comic-Con? Like what's your takeaway? And I did it up as a poll, so let me see if I can jump to it real quick. Yep, here it is. All right, so the options were trailers, the cosplay, panel discussions, or comic book / geek news. You know.
Okay, I'm sorry, Bill. Mm-hmm. IGN has just posted a new trailer for Star Trek Discovery. Is it okay if I put my headphones in and listen to this for a
Why don't
couple
you
minutes?
wait
How
for the
long-
after show?
Yeah, how long is the trailer?
To 2:35.
Wow,
long-
during a live show, he wants to stop being on the show and listen.
That's a tall order, I think.
It's nice that you asked. But how long is DC report this week?
About 4 minutes.
Yeah, that's what we got time during the break.
Okay.
So we can get into your psychosis
Okay.
in the after show. How about
Okay.
that? So we can stay on the
Yeah.
roll here. So on this poll question, basically what comes out of this is that it seems like the trailers, maybe from our standpoint as people not going, like what's coolest out of this end of it anyway is
Well, I've been to New York Comic Con.
yeah. I
And
find it to be a little much.
The thing is this: the crowds turn me off. Only because you're waiting online to get into these panels.
Well,
There's so many panels.
And we also, well, in all fairness, me and you did establish earlier this episode that we are the kind of guys, I don't fucking need this fucking shit kind of guys. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So there's a lot of like, if I...
No, but I would probably wait, a couple hours for
Yeah.
a Star Wars panel. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I probably would wait for a
yeah.
one of the Marvel panels or something like that.
right,
But the thing is like it's way too crowded for me. You know what I mean?
The walking around.
I think meeting and getting some celebrity autographs is cool.
Yeah,
and and I like the actual expo itself, all
Sure.
the dealers
yeah.
and stuff like
yeah,
that.
Yeah. The vendors and all the manufacturers.
But I'm not the
and
kind
stuff.
of guy that's gonna wait on those fucking long ass lines.
I've said it before too. Like like the panels, they seem like like you can get that info afterwards. B, like you spend a lot of time waiting to get in. That's eating up your
Yeah.
convention time. And then like
You spent
C, like I feel like it's it's minutia that you get out of those panels anyway.
No, it's just it's torture. The whole weekend is you waiting. You know, I want to fucking eat a bullet after you're done.
I'm waiting to get in the building, and then when I'm in the building, I'm waiting to get into a room.
Yeah.
You know,
Sometimes I feel like eating a bullet, huh? What do I do?
Yeah.
and then hopefully I get in the room.
Well, and then
You look like a Muppet when you talk.
That's my Martin Riggs from
It makes sense.
Lethal
Then.
Weapon.
It makes kind of sense then.
And then even if you're not going to a panel, trying to walk the floor is just it's just this mass of humanity that's just kind of shifting. The one place I've found is really cool is Artist Alley.
That's
a
always got
place-
lower traffic
Yeah.
for some reason.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is insane because
That's where people should be. You know?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like I got to sit there and have like a whole conversation with Jerry Ordway.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, like I've had like a good 20-minute discussion with Walt Simonson. Talking about Star Wars and Thor and Michael Golden.
sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
And the late great. Oh God, I can't think of his name now.
Mel Torme.
No, Creep Show.
Bernie
talk about him
Bernie
on-
Wrightson.
yeah.
Bernie Wrightson.
Name escaped me.
Yeah. A legend. All right, but
Rest in peace.
so with that, if anybody in the chat room kind of wants to chime in on what their thoughts on that are, was kind of surprised that nobody voted for cosplay out of that little list. Like that got no votes. But then again, it wasn't like a lot of people. It wasn't like a lot of people did the poll. You know what I mean? Didn't really get much traction.
Just 100,000, right?
Chad NV is appreciating my Mel Torme reference, which is really just a Night Court reference.
This is not Mel Torme. Top secret. Remember that?
The Velvet Frog is all I know Mel Torme because of Night Court. That's the only reason.
Oh, I know.
Jukebox baby, or the swinging is all in town. Jukebox baby.
I guess.
I know him because of Seinfeld when he thought
Put a nickel in for Maybelline.
when he thought that Kramer was touched.
Oh right,
Because he had the funny shows and he had the list.
This guy's a little touched in the head, right? Or he says something like that. All right, so
I'm when you
Hey,
come out of
ring
the
a
dentist.
dinger.
You got here all by yourself. That's so impressive.
Look at that dungaree girl I found.
all right, we got no. I needed a time check on this. All right, so.
They're still doing the chat game?
No, they wrapped up the chat game. Well, I mean, if they want to play, they can keep going. I mean, that's always the thing. But
That's right, Rog.
You know,
I was surprised no one said, what was it?
Looks like a chess piece.
Committee to get guys from Guar to wash themselves and their outfits.
oh, that would sure.
Something.
Yeah.
Because they were at every single one of these
Yeah,
things, you know?
they should have a thing, a petition at the door. Like, we don't mind if they come. They're
Guar
cool,
bathe.
but they've got to hose them down. Oh, they need to go to that first one that was suggested was how to use deodorant. That Wesley, I think, or Wesley or John suggested. All right, so let's.
Meanwhile,
That was a little loud. Meanwhile,
Jukebox baby.
so here's something previously on the Wicked Theory podcast.
Hey, so what's 100% of 5 American tacos? 4. Thank you.
That was submitted by Wesley. Wesley sent that in as a sound clip.
Hey, so what's 100% of 5 American tacos? 4.
So that's everything you basically need to know about last week's episode.
That's it.
And that this week we're going to try something out. And I've kind of devised a rating system that is new yet familiar and kind of basic and simple, and allows us to kind of really just kind of keep doing what we were doing. What's that? Eye of the Tiger or something you were getting into?
I messed it up.
Yeah, that's funny though.
It's Eye of the Tiger.
Is that getting strong now? It's either. Either way, it's Rocky. I'm bringing your volume down a little bit because I'm trying to stay on track here, and he's distracting me. So. Here's the preface on this. I was talking to YouTube before the show a little bit. Bob didn't catch any of this. I talked to Dom about this already. And what it comes down to is that, like, when Dom was on all the time, one of the things we wanted to do at some point was have like an easy kind of like pass fail, yes no kind of rating system, but it never really kind of worked out. It was something that we were kind of lifting from the guys at Collider, and because they do buy sell, which is just on trailers, and that's how they rate trailers. So when we started doing trash or cash, it was pretty much the same thing. Like you know, it was like, you know, all right, cake, easy. But one of the things that got spurred out of the whole thing last week about the rating systems, in the conversations that we had afterwards, brought me back to the central idea that I always felt was really important these days in convincing or recommending a movie, is that if a movie's good, you're telling somebody to go. It's worth your time and your money. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's like the central point, and everything else works out from there. Like, so I'd like to kind of start with that and say, like, let's do trash, cash, or stash. I'll go through these, but cash is basically the idea that, you know, if you're gonna recommend it, you're recommending them to go see it. If the movie's in the theater, then you're recommending that they spend money to go see it. You know what I mean? If it's only available somewhere, wherever it is, then cash is just a recommendation to find it on your HBO or that kind of thing. So that's like kind of like the middle point, but also like the central conceit of a starting point. So on a scale, it would go like trash is, like, it could be the hot garbage that like don't even bother seeing it. Let's pretend that it should have never been made. Up to like, hey, it's just a pass. It's good. It's okay. It's not great. I didn't like it. You know, it's not horrible. You know, trash. You know,
Anything
it's
from, you know what, I'd rather get my money back to garbage,
right.
as opposed to something you would actually go see.
Right, exactly. So, you know, it's okay at best, but it's a 0 to 1 star type of.
So-
But if it's
Right.
in theaters and
Yeah.
you say you could wait to rent this,
Right.
then it's a trash.
Then it's a trash. You know, so it's a broader, it's the spectrum of the gamut that word represents is a little broader than people are probably used to in a sense. But the trash doesn't mean it's hot garbage all the time. It just means, hey, you don't have to go chase it down. You know what I mean? The cash is a recommendation through and through. It's worth your time and money to go see it. It might have bumps and bruises, but it's worth the watch. You know what I mean? You're going to come out of it liking some stuff out of this, at least from your own opinion, your own stance. But that can run all the way up to, like, you know, it's high end. It's really good. Like, definitely go see it. Like, you know, like I can't tell you, I implore you enough. It's worth your time. It's worth your money. It's a good film. So there's a gamut. There's a range in that.
Right.
And then with Stash, it's basically saying this movie is so good that you should have it in your house. Or it should be stashed away in the vaults, in the libraries. You know what I mean? And that's the high end, the real high end benchmark. Like, just because that's what you're recommending to people. Like, in a way, it's like saying, like, you know, either avoid something or go see something, watch something, or it's so good you should have a copy in your house.
Like, you should show your nieces and nephews when they come over to visit.
Right. When they come over and they look at your collection, oh, like, what's good out of this? Like, this movie will be in there.
So
like
I need to come up with. Hold on, let me see how it sounds. Hold on.
It rings. It fits. It fits. Now, for somebody like Jay, Stash is something that he does all the time. He's a, and you too, Ed.
Oh,
You know,
he'll stash on multiple formats.
right. So, so for guys like you, like, you know, your recommendations is, you know, stash almost everything. But what I feel like is the thing here is that, like, with these kind of like looser parameters, since it's all about quantifying your thing anyway, someone like Jay would say stuff like, a guy like me, like, I stash every movie. I can take every movie, but this is a movie I think the majority of people will probably want to have in their homes. That's how good I think it is once you see it. Like, you know, so what it is it's like, you know, in that particular context, it's that extra emphasis. If it's like, you know, it's not just a cash. It's not just go see it. It's like when you go see it, you're hoping there's a kiosk at the door where I can pick up copies on the way out. Like, you know what I mean? So I think we'll try and give this a run. Unless anybody's got, like, really any objections on what's clarification.
So cash, trash, stash.
That's it. That's it.
That's it.
Trash,
All there is.
cash, stash, trash, cash, ash, mash, bash.
So stash is basically 5 stars.
Don't you fucking start. But yeah, But yeah, trash is 0 to 1. Stash is like,
Stash is anything
it's
from
like,
like 2.5.
well, it's like 4 to 5, or just or 4.
Cash is
But
anything you would want.
if you want to kind of bring it down to numbers, it's a 3 mark system.
Right.
It's skip it until you want to. Full recommendation to go get a copy. Like, go buy it. You know what I mean? Go have it in your house.
Jay's getting really quiet.
Jason,
He's been completely silent.
I'm processing, but I'm
process. So I think as long as, because it's all about kind of bullshitting about the movies anyway. You know what I mean? That's the other thing.
The
I
only
think
way we're gonna know is if we do it a couple times.
Fair enough. Yeah.
That's the only way it's gonna.
That's what. That's. What's the weight for Redbox rating? I don't know.
That's trash.
That's trash. I don't know what the hell that even means.
No,
Well,
no.
if
He
it's in
means
a-
like
yeah.
what would be the equivalent to just don't see it in theaters, wait and rent it.
Oh yeah.
And that's, that is-
But
Right.
technically, you could say on the very low end of trash. If you're, however, you want to quantify it on certain
Or
on
the
on
high ends.
Well, on the edges, on the edges of these gamuts, like however you want to quantify.
That's the conversation.
Right.
That's the conversation.
Right. That is where we like have the breakdown. That's where the descriptions come in. It's like, I want to say it's good because I don't want to say trash, but it's cash. But it's no emergency. That's the thing, because we're always on the fence with ratings anyway. Sometimes, you know what I mean. It's like I want to give it a 3. I want to give it more. It's not quite a 4. It's always like these hems and haws. So when I play a little bit of a gray zone.
I'm sorry.
You should be, man.
No,
I don't know what you're apologizing
The minute you
for.
said it's not emergency, I started thinking of the 70s TV show that was like from the makers of Dragnet and Adam 12,
Emergency, right? Yeah.
which isn't a great show.
No. I thought you were going to say emergency, like that vitamin C shit. Like, for some reason, I thought when you were like, oh, it made me think of something. So I don't know.
Which, by the way, don't take people. It's bullshit. It makes you shit your pants.
Let's see what people are thinking in the chat room about this new system. Seems like Chad likes it. Trash, pash, cash, stash. That's 4 stars.
Pass, huh?
Yeah, he's saying slip a pass in there.
Pass.
Well, I think pass falls under trash. You just, you quantify in there. Hey, look, it's just a pass. I'm not saying it's hot garbage, but that's the word we use. We use trash, But this means that there won't be American tacos. That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct. I mean, we're going to have to find some other regular bit. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Non-movie related. Maybe we break out of the fucking mold here and something else happens.
We won't go into it. I did nominate German beef sandwiches, but
Right.
that was rejected.
Yeah, it was rejected. I felt like the bit was too complicated to upkeep over the long term. It would have been great, funny, one time out maybe, but adding this dry fucking humor. Okay, so wait, American Taco Night is out. I don't know what that means. He says see Twitter. He must have tweeted something. He's having a taco now, I guess is what he's saying. He's so bummed. That's Chad NV. All right, so we'll give this a go this week.
I had 3 American tacos today. You know that, right? That was my dinner.
Was it really?
Yeah.
You had fucking tacos? Oh, you had hot dogs.
I had
American
hot dogs.
tacos.
Is that what that smell was? I woke up from a
Yeah.
nap. Like, what was that? What is that delicious fucking smell? and I
that
couldn't
is-
place it.
That is something we should do.
3 nice burnt.
We should have a
blackened hot dogs.
celebratory hot dog party to say goodbye to the American taco. Like a going
No,
away.
I mean, just like before the show every night, we should just have like a small pile of hot dogs just sitting there on the counter.
What is this, fucking Nathan's? Was there a contest?
Well, that means this is a way for Ed to have to come over at 4 o'clock, so he has to cook hot dogs.
I mean, if you're gonna cook and clean,
Toasting buns and
yeah. I mean, if you're gonna toast buns,
Some Wiener Schnitzel.
then we're in. Wiener and water soup is intoxicating, says Chad NV. It's bologna juice.
Sounds like a good hot dog.
a hot dog.
A big bite at 7-Eleven.
Ooh, sabrettes, my friend.
No, of course.
Sabrettes from a
Absolutely.
truck with kraut,
Yeah.
mustard,
Mustard and kraut.
a little onions maybe, like a little bit. And
Couple laughs.
Give me the week old one in the corner of the rolling thing.
Yeah.
ooh, what's that bluish green one doing in there?
Yeah.
I'll take
Yeah.
that.
It's crunching when it rolls.
What's the one that looks like it's got like an old tattoo?
That's aged 5 months.
It's got like an old spread bluish gray spot. What is that? Is that an old sailor tattoo? All right. So now let's see what happens with this new system when we start talking about Valerian,
Which all 4 of us have seen.
the last city of planets, lost city of worlds,
City of a
Lost
Thousand
1,000
Planets.
planets.
city of 1,000 podcasts,
Valerian.
Valerian.
And the City of 1,000 Planets.
and the steam train of 1,000 destinations. I think I got it.
Based on the Valerian and Laureline graphic novel series.
That's what they should have called it. That's got, and they were probably like, no, that's got a girl's name. That's not marketable. Meanwhile, that's exactly what the fucking movie is. It's Valerian and Laureline. But I don't know who really wants to start where or whatnot. We should probably go around. Jay,
You want me to go first?
why not, buddy?
I'm gonna pass it to Ed.
All right. I was
It's a fucking game show now.
I just passed.
All right. I'll give you a pass. Next week we're gonna have to
Pass. And if you're gonna fuck
Fair
with
enough,
me, you're
fair
gonna fuck
enough.
with me. It's gonna get out of hand again.
Fair enough.
I was really looking forward to this movie.
Were you?
And a lot of people thought I was crazy. Like they thought that this was going to be in the realm of like Jupiter Ascending and a lot of other really expensive but horrible sci-fi flicks. And for some reason, I thought the effects in the trailers really grabbed me. And visually, this movie delivers. I think it's stunning. Special effects are the best I've seen. I would go up. I would say the best since Avatar. You know, right up there, just textures, things actually looking real. You know, I mean, obviously, not everything's perfect, but this is really, really close. I think Dane DeHaan and Cara Delevingne as Valerian and Laureline, they're interesting, but they don't really grab me as much. And because this is a French movie, there is a point where you need to wander into stuff that has nothing to do with the plot.
So you can go,
hang out for 20 minutes because this looks really cool. And it does meander a bit. You know, but overall, I think I did enjoy it. I think this is something that people should see on the big screen.
Okay.
And so for that reason, I'm gonna cash this.
All right.
It's a low cash, but it's a cash.
Gotcha. I gotcha. All right. Bob?
This was a movie I felt like I've seen like over and over again.
Okay.
I totally agree with Ed as far as the visuals,
Right.
but everything in this movie was something that I felt like I've seen before. Like the people on the planet, they look like the whole place just reminded me of like Avatar.
Gotcha.
You know, it was supposed to be this beautiful, pristine, perfect place. You know, and I didn't think the CG work that was in that section was great. I thought
Right.
it was really good. I didn't think it was to a level of the more normal CG stuff that you see in movies that we see later on.
Okay.
But overall, this movie was like, I felt like at points I felt like I was watching Keanu Reeves playing Captain Kirk. Okay.
All right.
Because he kind of sounds like Keanu Reeves.
He's got a little bit of a weird.
If he had
thing.
gone, whoa, I would have been like, all right, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
But he, you know what I mean? Because this movie's like a roller coaster.
It is.
But it's not a very exciting roller coaster.
Yeah.
You know. I don't know. I was thinking of calling him Leo Neo.
Leo Neo.
Because he's like a poor man's Leo,
Yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio physically.
Yeah. He's got a little bit of that
And
young Leo look.
he's got that Neo voice going on.
Like, nice.
You know, so, but anyway, I'm with Ed on this. You got to see this in the movies. So
Yeah.
for that reason,
Okay.
it's a cash. But if you don't see it in the movies, don't feel too bad.
Right.
You know, just check it out when it comes out on DVD. Then make sure you see it.
There you go. We'll just keep going in the circle. We're gonna end on you, Jay. All right. All right, it's big shoes to fill.
You know what that means, right?
I don't know.
He's just gonna skewer all of us.
Like, yo, fucking. So, yeah, you know what? I'm following the trend here. You know what? I want, it's funny because the movie's got a lot going for it. And it feels like one of the things that it doesn't have, that it's kind of missing. And I don't know if 100% is this because I'm too used to it. But I feel like it at least needed a little bit more. It was just more personality. And I don't know if that's like it should have been in the characters, the two mains a little bit more, or if it needed to kind of just be in the dialogue being a little bit more fun or cooler or crisper or some kind of need a fresh coat of paint.
You know what it is? She's very sarcastic.
Yeah.
And he needs to bounce off of that with more optimism, and I don't think he landed that properly.
There's that. There is this weird dynamic where it feels like, I liked her more than I liked him.
Oh, by far.
By far. And it's not even that she's a pretty girl. It's just that her character felt more realistic and settled in, whereas he felt like he was acting. Like, you know what I mean? Like he was trying, like, not like his character's like super bravado guy. He's very middle of the road, like as far as that goes. You know what I mean? Just doing his job. You know what I mean? But like, I don't know if that's his normal voice. It felt very put on. If it is, and I apologize, but it wasn't working for me a little bit. But like I said, like I just felt like it needed a little bit more personality or something like that, and because all the visuals are there and the concepts are there. The story might kind of like telegraph its kick a little early on too easily, so you know who the bad guy is and what's going to happen here. But the chase is kind of fun. The romp is fun. The new kind of different concepts for sci-fi and science fiction and deep space stuff. Like, I like it. Like, if a sequel comes out, I'm definitely going to check it out. But I'm going to give this one a cash. And I'm just going to say, look, I could tell it's not going to do the numbers it should this week.
But that was apparent today.
And I'm afraid that because of that and some lackluster reception, that it may not get the chance to kind of like find itself in a sequel. But it's a good serviceable movie that brings a lot visually, and there's nothing like that's a contradiction or it feels like a bad move. Otherwise, it just doesn't really hit a lot of high marks other than the visuals. The story's kind of good. It goes some familiar kind of places too a little bit. So, but like, it's just, I wanted these characters to be more fun and more, or just more, me to be more engaged about them.
By the way, Dane DeHaan, born in Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Well, he's got to work on whatever it is he's doing. It sounds like a Nick Cage almost. Jay, so for me, like I said, it's cash. But Jay, it's over to you. Whatever that was, I broke.
I don't know. I can't. All right. Well, I think I feel the same way about. I'm going to take from every one of your reviews,
nice,
and mash it up to my own thing.
Thief.
I like this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Sure. I always have. You know what I mean? And the charming thing about it is that it's really like a sci-fi adventure.
It is epic. It feels epic.
It's an epic adventure, and it's layered with a lot of very cool things and places it goes to. A lot of interesting. My main problem with the movie is the lead character, is his performance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which it didn't stop me from enjoying myself, but I could have easily seen somebody should have had a lot more. Another actor would have had a lot more fun with this. Somebody like Zac Efron, maybe. You know what I mean? Like I could have easily seen his fun, funny kind of shtick bounce off of her.
You needed a Pratt or a Pine or a Tom Holland,
or like a younger guy. Someone charming, much more fun, because I didn't really care about him.
Dialogue could have stayed the same.
You know what I mean? Exactly. You know what I mean? Because other than that, I didn't find anything wrong with this film at all. In fact, it's visually stunning. It's got everything you want in a intergalactic space adventure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm going to cash this, You know what I mean? With my only reservation is what's his name? Dane DeHaan.
Dane DeHaan.
Dane DeHaan is the. You know what I mean? I liked everything. I even liked the Rihanna stuff. I
Yeah.
even liked that character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I thought Ethan Hawke was
and
pretty
that,
cool.
that character has a fun arc.
Right.
Has, you know, has.
Well,
that could have easily been laughable and shitty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
it's
no.
not.
Yeah, what I mean is it has. Yeah, she has a serious arc. But
Right.
yeah, no, it's.
But it's good. You know what
But
I
it's
mean?
good. Yeah,
I was
yeah.
invested in the story. I thought the story was very cool.
there's great concepts. There's great.
And amazing concepts. So, you know, Clive Owen was cool. Even Ethan Hawke was pretty cool in his little role he had.
Yeah.
And immediately the opening,
Yeah.
when it's they're meeting different alien forms on the fucking space
Yes,
station,
yes. The
and how
opening
the station
sequence.
comes and it
Yeah.
becomes part of that. That is brilliant stuff.
Yeah, I like how that starts with a real thing,
Right,
Which
yeah.
is the Apollo Soyuz mission in the 70s.
That was an amazing opening. I was like hooked in right away.
Great opening lead concept
so-
to kick off the whole.
It's definitely a better movie.
story
It's
and-
definitely a
and
better
world.
movie than what most are giving it credit for, because again, people
Yeah.
got to complain, and they're
Yeah.
already comparing this to. I think this is good. I felt the same way, without the fact that I didn't care for the lead character too much, but for John Carter, I liked John Carter
Yeah.
a lot. I thought that was another great space adventure. You know what I mean? So cash, and definitely go to the movies, even if you're going to go to a matinee,
Yeah.
or if you want to wait a couple. Definitely do yourself a favor and go see it in the theater, because this is the kind of movie
This
that
is a big
theaters
screen.
are made for.
This is a big screen.
This is a big screen adventure.
You know what I mean? It's
So-
they handle scope really well. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Go ahead.
No, it's a good movie. It's a good sci-fi film, and I really enjoyed myself.
It's just missing a little bit more gravitas
Well, we've seen
in the tension level throughout the movie. I think.
we have seen this kind of stuff before. I get you. We have. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
and I mean, he,
Oh, I felt like I felt like I was seeing bits of The Fifth Element.
Well, of course.
Luc Besson directed The Fifth Element. Same guy
Right,
directed
right.
this movie.
I kind of expected that, but then I was also feeling like I was seeing parts of a Star Trek movie, a Star Wars movie,
Yeah.
Right.
Avatar. It was a bit of a morality play at the end, so that was definitely felt me make
Star Trekky.
Star Trekky and Avatar again.
Right.
Yeah, and this is kind of a case where it's very similar to John Carter, where this was a graphic novel that came out in the late '60s, and every big science fiction movie for the last 30 years has borrowed
Right,
from it in
right.
some way, shape,
Yeah.
or form.
Well, everybody borrows from everything.
And this is an older comic.
But
you
there
know
was
what I mean?
some really good original concepts in this
Yeah.
movie as well. You know, the creatures
Absolutely.
are really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I really dug it. There was a lot of very interesting scientific concepts with it. So, cash.
Cash. It's cash all around, you know, with certain reservations, but it's definitely across the board recommendation for that one. You should be checking it out, making up your own decision, because, you know, who are we to judge? All right. And I think that's going to bring us into the email-ish kind of zone.
Well, there's still one more movie that Jay and I need to review.
Oh, that's right. You guys saw Dunkirk.
Yes.
Yes, we did.
All right. Okay.
All right, now you go first. Jay.
Yeah, let's hear this, because I'm curious about this.
All right. Well, I have a huge arc story for this, so you might want to go. All right. Fuck it. I'm gonna go. I'm a fan of.
Did we do some background music or
No,
something?
no,
okay,
because that's just gonna distract me.
fair enough. Fair enough.
Now, we both saw this movie in glorious 70 millimeters.
Yeah, we saw the 70 millimeter print of this.
It's a fucking Tarantino movie, is all.
Kind of.
Nolan and
It's got
Tarantino, those are the only two guys who do it now.
That's it.
Christopher Nolan is a name where I get excited for a film when his name's attached to it. You know what I mean? Because you're going to see something very interesting, and you're going to see something different.
Right.
You know what I mean? And Dunkirk, I'm a big World War II fan. So you got World War II, you got Nolan. You know what I mean? And I really, really enjoyed this movie very much. But there's some issues with it I have. And I think Ed probably has some of the same issues because, for lack of a better word, it gets confusing a lot in the narrative. There's characters that it follows about 5 or 6 different main characters, I would say. But more along the lines you're looking at the private.
Yeah.
and Mark Rylance's character.
Yeah, basically there's the beach, the boat, and the air. Those
Right.
are the three worlds that
Right.
we live in.
And you're dealing with like a character from each portion of that. You know what I mean?
All right.
And the fact is that I think they geared it more towards the private. If
Yeah.
I had to pick a lead character, it's probably that
Yeah.
private. And I didn't give a shit about him. You know what I mean? Honestly, I didn't give a rat's ass. And I feel that Nolan kind of was concentrating more on substance than he was about storyline.
All right.
I feel like it's wonderful to look at. There's a lot of great technical achievements in this movie, and I'm not gonna trash this by any way, shape or form. But I expected a lot more out of it. In fact, I would have rather had Kenneth Branagh have a little bit more to do with it, because I thought that his character was much more interesting, especially how they leave you with him too. You know what I mean? I don't want to spoil it for anybody. But, Tom Hardy's doing his thing. There's some great aerial shots. But I think Ed will jump in on this too. It gets confusing as to which plane you're looking at and trying to identify which character's in which plane and where
Yeah.
it's going.
Yeah.
And he goes back and forth. There's a lot of, they rewind back and tell you a backstory, but you don't know that until you're figuring it out for yourself.
Gotcha.
So you're seeing it back and forth in
Yeah,
the story.
it's just
But
there's a lot of
a lot of backgrounds are the same, so you don't
right.
really.
And structurally, I can see it probably worked better on paper than it does when you're watching it.
Okay, here's what I've figured out. Because in the title cards, when they introduce each of the three storylines, they actually say the beach is 1 week, the boat 1 day, and the air 1 hour.
Right.
Which means that the story's non-linear.
Right.
But you have to
So-
kind of keep that in your head.
Yeah, but
Right.
I didn't realize what
Right,
that meant until
right.
about halfway through the movie.
Right.
Right.
When something happens and we're referencing something that happened half an hour ago.
I got you. And all of a sudden you're realizing, oh, it syncs up
The
here.
moment I got
Yeah.
it was when I was watching something at night, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. Why is it night
Yeah.
and then day here? I'm like, are they going back? You know what I mean? And because
Yeah.
there's some really good, interesting elements to it. It's very claustrophobic. You're seeing everything from there's a lot of close-ups rather than grand scale stuff, where,
Yeah.
like when the boat explodes and stuff like that. But Saving Private Ryan, it's not. And I'm saying that because I feel like this was a little too polished.
Okay.
It's not as gritty as like Saving Private Ryan. You know what I mean? And I
Right.
feel that it's not a bloody movie by any means. You know what I mean? But when Spielberg did something a little bit more ultra-violent with
A little bit of the old ultra-violence.
Saving Private Ryan, you actually felt
Right.
it because you were invested in these characters. I wasn't invested in anybody. I didn't give a shit. You know what I mean? The only interesting character I really thought that was worth my while was Mark Rylance, and that exchange on the boat
Yeah.
stuff. You know what I mean? Tom Hardy was cool. You know what I mean? He was doing like his thing and whatnot. But I'm glad I saw it in the theater because there's a lot to like
Yes.
about this film. It's not a terrible film by any means. It's actually a rather good movie, but it could have been great.
Yeah. So you're cashing this?
I'm cashing this, but with reservations.
Okay. So yeah, my real thoughts are, I think the performances in this are really solid.
Yeah.
I think it's very different because when you're comparing it to Saving Private Ryan, it's Normandy, it's manic, it's you're dropped into the middle of hell and what the fuck's going on.
Uh-huh.
This is different because there is fighting going on, and the reason I think the Germans are terrifying villains is that we never see them in person. They're this disembodied wave that's just off the coast that is coming, and all you're trying to do is outrun them.
Right.
Or they're just these, they're these planes that you never see. It's the kind of thing you never see anything from the Germans' perspective. It's all from the British,
Which is cool.
and which is really cool because to me that's how the British soldier saw the German. Is I don't know what this person looks like. I don't know who they are. They're just this thing out there that's trying to kill me,
Right.
and I'm trying to escape it.
But to be fair, there is violence. They are getting shot up. There's a lot of
Oh, yeah.
and whatnot. And to me, there was like nothing. They were just getting shot. It was kind of like an older war film where people are
Yeah.
getting shot. You don't see nothing.
Yeah.
Right,
You know what I mean? And I know that when you're getting shot up, and we saw like the blood spatter. You know what I mean? It was really like you're really invested a little bit more. But that's Spielberg's focus on it. To me, I thought it was just like it's terrifying, but it could have been more terrifying, is what I'm saying.
See, yeah, but to me, like, the horror it's not what's happening, it's what's about to happen, and that's where the fear really kicks in for me.
But but it is happening. They do show you people,
Yes, yeah, but I'm saying from the main
Under
character's
fire.
perspective, you're always 1 inch away from disaster, from that death, especially for the main character that you're talking about, that's played by Fionn Whitehead.
Yeah, which I didn't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like to me, it's he gets these lucky breaks, and every time you think, okay, he's on his way home, something happens that throws him out back onto the beach, and it's like, fuck.
Right. Well, right.
And it's how is he going to get out of this? And he befriends someone, and that turns out to be a huge mistake.
Right.
And it's all of this stuff going on. But the Mark Rylance story is interesting, and Tom Hardy. And that's the thing. There's very little dialogue in this movie. This is the kind of thing where like you have to be paying attention.
Okay.
Right.
It's sparse.
Yeah, and I love the aerial footage.
Yeah, absolutely
because
stunning.
Because I'm hoping they used real planes in this. Like I think for the most part they did.
Oh, I'm sure a lot of it, as much as you
there's a
possibly
lot
could,
of- yeah.
probably.
Because
Knowing that guy.
Because it looks like, oh, this is what I'm seeing as a British pilot. My meter's all fucked up. My instruments are fucked up. I can barely see out a window, and I'm just hoping through this one scope that I get into the right place. And you get that kind of almost claustrophobic feel, even though you're in the open air.
Right.
And I think there's a lot of things. I think towards the end, I was really getting confused as to which plane was which.
Right.
And I even texted you about this
Yeah,
afterwards.
exactly. Which is why I'm saying it gets confusing a few times, actually. You know what I mean?
Yeah. From a narrative structure standpoint, I think it could be a lot tighter.
Right.
I think there could be time spent with the characters, but like as is, there's really like nothing wrong with I would say with what's shown in terms of performances. It's there's nothing I would take away.
Oh, no,
it's only I wish there would be just a little bit more from each character.
Right. Well, I didn't really particularly care for the story for the private, even though I was invested in what was going on. It could have been fleshed out character-wise a little bit more. But it is an amazing technical achievement.
And this for me, like I was like, with those little things, that's just enough for it not to be a stash for me. Like this is a cash. This is a definite cash for me, and I think this could be an Oscar contender. I don't think it's going to win the big prize, but I think it could be in the discussion and probably get a nomination.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I feel the same way. I feel there's a couple of things that's preventing this from being a movie to stash. I mean, I'm going to stash it anyway.
Yeah, I'll fucking tell you where to stash it, buddy.
But I had a couple issues with it.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth another look for me to actually go back and watch it again.
I think at the very least, because of the story, the way the story structure works, it sounds like the very least, for most people, I think a rewatch would probably be necessary. Because if the story structure is kind of laid out that way, where you kind of see it halfway through how it's actually working, and maybe it is meant to have a rewatch, much like Memento is kind of meant to have a rewatch. You know what I mean?
But I followed Memento, even though I kind of
absolutely. But Memento, I saw it coming too.
This, I think it was more along the lines where I was really just trying to figure out what was going on.
But you know what? And Prestige is another one of my favorite movies. I say that's my favorite movie of the new millennium.
Sure.
But like Prestige and Memento, both of those movies you watch it and go, and Inception also. It's like, oh, I got to see this again.
Right.
And here at the end of Dunkirk, I was like, Oh, I'm gonna have to see this again.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. Like I think,
Right.
like I really think I need another viewing of this before I can really judge it, because there's a
Right.
few elements that's preventing me from giving this the almighty recommendation.
Right. Sure. Like I could see that. Yeah.
So I say I'm going to say to be continued.
To be cashed.
I want to see it in IMAX. You know, see if I can check it out there.
the old Max Eye. All right. You know what time it is?
Oh, yeah.
Raj.
What? Raj?
That's my Martin Riggs. Raj. Look, I got a hollow point. Make sure it blows the back of my goddamn head off. I do the job right.
Let's make like Shepard and get the
He
fuck out
sounds
of here.
more like it's a trap, dude.
Well,
from Star
no, you know
Wars.
what? The thing is like Mel was trying to lose his Australian accent at that
Yeah,
time.
he's forcing it. And when
he's forcing his American accent in that movie.
you gotta when you start yelling. and
Every
screaming.
single day.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's trying it extra hard to keep it non-regional.
What do you
American.
want to hear, man?
Like, yeah. Big
Do you
one.
really want to jump? Do you want to?
really want
Look at my eyes.
Let's do it, asshole. Let's do it.
And then there's an airbag, and I'm like, this movie sucks.
Nah, the first one is great. The first one is really good.
Nah, I'm only kidding. All right, so we do have some emails. You might have heard the sound that I played. That okay?
Yes.
All right. So here's one from somebody we haven't heard from in a while. Subject line is "It's been a while." This one's from James Hazelden Jr. You remember Jimmy? So this one starts out, life has been life. It's been pretty damn shitty. The lawnmower died. The yard is taller than the hayfield. I love my wife. That's all I'm going to say about that. Which could still get me in trouble if she hears you said that. But hurrah for the public library. What? He's very stream of consciousness with this. Yeah, I've been checking out graphic novels at the library. I never did read the whole Walking Dead series, so I've been making my way through the nice hardcover editions along with the random other titles like Pacific Rim prequel novel, which was okay, a really quick read, but some backstory to the characters. Also, I'd forgotten that the library actually doubles as the Blockbuster video now, and they have a decent selection. So, Ed, if you're looking for a place...
That's true.
Your local library might have plenty of VHSs. So when life just starts to bum you out, what do you do to get back into the swing of things? And get you into the swing of things and out of a rut? And then, so that's his question. I know it's a deep question, no deep answers. I'm not going to do something stupid. Just feeling bummed with life.
You get laid.
It's interesting that when he starts feeling down, that's when he comes back to us.
Well,
I don't know if he's. I hope he thinks we're gonna bring his spirits up. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. It's hard. The only thing that gets me through when I'm starting to get funky is just that I've resolved myself in the last several years to constantly remind myself that it is temporary. That the scientific fact that this is going to pass because the serotonin is going to kick in a little while. Like, I try to, like, it doesn't always pop to the forefront of my mind, but it is a thing where it's like, I try to go with that sometimes. Like, this too shall pass type of thing. Or knowing that the funk, the depression, the mood space that I'm in, the problems may not go away, but this feeling, this time right now, in a half an hour, 45 minutes, I'll be distracted by something else. I'll have gotten out of this funk, or an hour or two, maybe a day, maybe, who knows. But I know this cloud's going to roll on. I have to just remember that in a way. It's hard. You know, it doesn't always jump to your head, but it's the only thing that ever gets me through any of it. You know what I mean? And trying to distract yourself sometimes works, but, you know, depends on what you're trying to distract yourself with. You know what I mean? So... thanks, welcome back, James, and thanks for bringing us down. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, I snort.
Get yourself
I
laid.
just snort Listerine.
There you go. Bob just snorts Listerine.
Actually, in seriousness, I play guitar.
There you go. I think the key is probably to have some kind of outlet, some kind of hobby, some kind of thing. You know what I mean? And for a guy whose basic thing seems to be lawn mowing, the fact that you haven't been out lawn mowing It's probably where you were getting your regular
Was
clarity.
he Forrest Gump?
Well, I was gonna say seriously though,
mean,
it's probably where he was getting his regular dose of clarity from, of like time alone to kind of decompress and just like be in a zone
Yeah.
or be thinking about shit and processing. You know,
Sometimes you just need that time alone blasting the John Williams Superman the movie soundtrack in your head.
Or you need to get laid, like I just said.
or get laid, So
You'll feel a lot better.
I think either one or both. All right, so over to our old friend Agent Palmer, who's not here, but he's not so busy that he couldn't send an email. So he says, "Gentlemen, 6 years ago we were first introduced to Chris Evans as Captain America. In honor of this particular anniversary, in your opinions, which of the original Phase 1 Marvel characters has had the best progression since their introduction into the MCU? No consensus need be reached. Palmer out."
I would say Iron Man because he's been around the most, and we've seen him evolve the most.
I would say that
He even has strong character development when he's not the star of the movie.
Bob agrees. I would say
Yeah, I'm with that on this one. It's Iron Man.
I would say for elapsed screen time per capita, Thanos. I mean, he hasn't done much, but you know,
Well, in the end, it's all about him, isn't it?
yeah,
This whole
that's
thing?
what I mean. For such a guy who's hasn't really got a time to shine yet.
But we have learned that he's very materialistic
Oh boy.
and is kind of a bad daddy.
And he's like kind of into accessories. Like he's really obsessed with these gloves. Sure, no, you know, I saw this email earlier and it had me thinking. I was thinking like, have any of them really done any? There's no true character growth, and this is a thing with superheroes sometimes. Like there's an illusion of growth sometimes.
Yeah.
Like events happen, they transpire. There's a history that goes, but it's like, you know. I feel like the Marvel movie characters haven't really done anything too crazy. Whereas like how the comic books are always like, they're either getting a limb blown off, or they're dying, or their parents turn out to be XYZ, or they're not who they thought they were, or like, you know, everything is everything you know is wrong moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas with the movies, it's very much like, nope, they're just a dude moving through a linear path as events unfold around them. That's their life. That's their, you know what I mean? That's how much really happens to Tony Stark. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Outside, once he gets a hole in his chest, like on a personal level, you know.
No, all the shit happens around him.
It does, yeah, and it doesn't seem like when he does kind of like, I mean, he created Ultron and basically destroyed a country, but like, you know, no big whoop, it seems. You know what I mean? No big deal. No skin off his back.
Yeah, he's not in jail or anything.
Yeah, you know what I mean? The entire Marvel mini cast goes over to Germany and has a brawl in an airport tarmac, and no big deal, I guess. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's a weird thing when you start to try and contextualize it, you know, a little bit. So I guess let's go with that. All right. Palmer, thanks for the email.
Yep.
And then over to Wesley. Hey, gentlemen, what was the last movie you saw knowing nothing at all when starting the movie? And is there a movie coming up that you might go to knowing nothing? I guess what he's trying to put it into, to rephrase a little bit, like a movie that we've tried to stay out of the way from finding out too much. Because you didn't want it to ruin it, I guess.
Well, that's easy for me because I tried to avoid Valerian.
Yeah, well, I mean, I did too. I didn't want to know too much about it going in, you know, outside of the trailers. Yeah, I think it
I
was,
didn't even go looking for trailers. I mean, it just whatever I saw, ended up seeing. I saw.
right. Whatever you stumbled across.
Yeah, probably. I would say the last stuff would have been the Oscar movies I was watching earlier this year.
Well, that's true. You were just going on a chase by title.
Yeah. So I think the last one I saw was The Red Turtle.
Okie dokie. I think for me, it's hard though, because like I always feel like I don't want to know anything about this movie, and then I end up knowing too much anyway, or I end up knowing everything anyway because it's just like reading all the shit. So it's hard. Like I think forget. I don't know. There was a movie not that long ago. I can't remember what it was, but there was something not that long ago that I know I was actively trying to avoid previews and shit.
Maybe that was the last X-Files movie.
No, no, that one I was eating up. I was eating up at the time. Oh no, wait, the last X-Files movie, or not the right? Yeah, that one. Yeah, I probably should have avoided at all costs. The first one wasn't that bad, but context, you know. All right, so he's got other questions in here. Goes, once upon a time, you said that. Oh shit, I'm skipping that one.
You can't just do that.
Yeah, that's true. Once upon a time, you said there would be a roast. Can we get an update? I don't know. I mean, and
Didn't we put that on like a permanent hiatus?
well, we did. We
Semi-permanent?
semi-permanent hiatus.
I've still got a few roasts on my hard drive that I can go through.
Well, what happened really is just that like it kind of fell apart in the planning stage, and
We didn't get around to planning it.
it's not what I just said, but whatever.
I was just trying to make a joke out of what you said.
No, I know,
I'm
but it
sorry.
sounds like, you know, like an actual
we
thing.
never set a hard date, and I think
Yeah, so it didn't materialize. So now, was that?
I'll give you a roast.
No, trust me. Now that you're here, there's another reason to do it. Like, you know what I mean? It's like another. You know
the
that there's.
roast of Bill Sweeney.
You know that there's another
featuring
guy
Michael Rooker.
on the dais now that's definitely gonna basically deliver. But that was kind of that was one of the issues too, was, you know, going through the list of the people that I was shooting for at the time and trying to just set it all up. And also too, you know, the Patreon thing. I know that we hit that plateau, that $75 mark that was supposed to make us do the roast.
I think
Started the planning at that point.
I think part of the problem was that guys like Andrew Dice Clay, they wanted more than that $75.
Yeah, that wasn't going to be enough.
Unbelievable.
Oh, that wasn't going to be enough for those guys.
We were just trying to get away with, like, you know, fair over the Verrazano
Fair enough.
because he lives in Brooklyn.
Yeah, we just want to, if we can pay the toll, you know what I mean? So that's kind of like where that's at. So I don't know how much I really got to hold to, you know, the Patreon thing, because now it's dipped under. But trust me, like, I get it going. It won't be because all of a sudden we hit $75 or surpassed it. Like, you know, if I get it going, it'll happen whether or not we're at the dollar amount. Like, it's activated. It was supposed to happen. I mean, people got Patreon packages that, like, actually weren't paying anymore. But when they were paying, they were supposed to get it. So it wasn't like, hey, I haven't, like, I'm not going to dick it. Like, you know what I mean? It's been, like Bob said, hiatus. So with that, speaking of dicking,
I'm not gonna dick it.
I'm not going to dick it. You know?
Dick it.
I mean, I know I got to do it. I'm not going to dick it. Speaking of dicking it, his next question, who would be the bottom bitch? Batman or Vader?
Batman.
Yeah, I think Batman would be the bottom bitch.
Yeah, I think he's taking it.
I think Vader's just like turning him over, lifting him up into the air, turning him over.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
See,
I don't think Vader's got a dick.
See, like, I disagree with the whole premise of the question.
Okay.
'Cause I don't know if it's physically possible for Vader to be either.
Good point. Yeah, he's kind of probably not got any good orifices to put anything in. Or maybe like really good ones now.
No, I mean Vader only lost his legs from the knees down.
Yeah, no, but you don't know if he takes off that shirt. Like, is he gonna, you know, like, is he gonna melt away?
I
Is
got I don't know. Or what kind of like apparatus they might have hooked up to his schwanz? Who knows? I'm thinking that he might have got a little bit
he's
of
a
burn.
He's a burn victim, not, you know.
Yeah, I don't know.
He wasn't rolling around in lava.
You got my answer.
Did we? Oh yeah, you said Batman. He says Batman takes it in the ass. I just feel like, well, you know, if it's Vader though, that kid wants to take it in the ass though. That you know, Anakin. You know.
You're taking up the ass, huh?
You know, I think he would have. I think the problem is that they're both bottoms, and they're like, we don't know what to do now. We need a double-ended. No, double-sided.
No, I think Batman has that thing all scoped out. He's prepared for anything.
He's got a butt plug in right now. All right. Sorry in advance, Bill, for breaking one of the main rules, but we thought your math was bad.
Would you stop interrupting me?
No, wrong clip. For breaking one of the main rules, but we thought your math was bad, and so he...
So what's 100% of 5 American tacos? 4.
All right, I'm supposed to play that clip. And sorry, Ed, but that was just too funny to me. And he's going to close it out with quotes now. See what you did, Ed? Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. Going with the wind. Right.
AFI voted that the #1 movie quote of all time.
Well, I think it's just because it doesn't matter where that quote would have ever came from. That line is just a great line. Like, who doesn't want to fucking spit that at somebody? How many times can you spend your whole day avoiding saying that because it's cliche? You could say that all damn day, to everybody, and you'd always be right.
Except I would substitute damn with fuck.
Yeah, I mean, locally it depends. Like, in this region of America, that's what we would do.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a fuck.
If you were like somewhere else, you'd say gosh darn. I don't give a gosh
I don't
darn.
give 2 shits.
Whoa. I don't give 2 fucking bologna sandwiches, what
Darn
you said.
tootin'.
Darn tootin'.
Forget about it.
Oh, yeah.
Darn tootin'.
Darn tootin'. All right, so while we were doing emails, real quick, just to kind of let people know, in case they want to go back out into the real world, Star Trek Discovery has a trailer that came out. Westworld had a trailer that came out. Stranger Things Season 2 had a trailer that came out. So I guess we'll have things to talk about in the after show. Mm-hmm. So either stick around or check us out on the Patreon to get the after show. The after show is only available live and on Patreon. Support us over at Patreon at patreon.com/Wicked Theory. Cash. But real small amount, like $1. It's $1 a month. I mean, come on. Cash.
You could spend $3.
I mean, $3 gets you those and the once a month special episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
even $5.
Well,
$5, you get an 8x10 of me, and I'll shine it for you.
that juicy
Smoking a cigar
and chewing on a combo in your fucking ear.
And drinking an MGD.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Chewing a combo. I don't know why we laugh at ourselves. All right, so
it's funny.
Because it's funny, you fuck. If we were a real show, we'd be taken off the air already. All right, so Batman is a power bottom, says Chad NV. Well, you know what? Whichever way he feels he's going to be able to keep an eye on the city is the best way. You know.
Well, that's only funny because he abbreviated as BM. BM is a power bottom.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Buttmaster.
I think Vader looks for a window and then he just takes, uses the Force and puts him over there.
Mm-hmm.
There
so
you go.
So he can look out the window.
Maybe that's his secret weapon. He plays the
Bitch
bottom
man.
and then lets loose a BM, and all of a sudden shit hits the fan and it's over.
Buttmaster.
Shit hits but unintended. That was fucking funny.
Oh, I gotta get an audience laugh track on this fucking thing. How about this?
Horny fucking horror.
hell was that? What the hell was that?
How about that? For next time. All right there, buddy? All right there, Spanky. All right, so we're going to wrap it up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We're out of here. If you want to hear us live every week, Saturdays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Mixlr.com/wicked-theory. The dash isn't always there. It's only when we're live. We're on the Mixlr account. Find us everywhere, blah, blah, blah. Ed, Jay.
What?
Didn't mean to wake you. Time for school, you fucking shitty kid. All right.
Where can people find me? Is that what you want to know?
Yeah. Where can people find you on the web? If you want to be so nice
Uncle
to
Jay.
Oh.
At Jason Chicolis on Twitters.
How do you spell your last name?
CICALESE.
All right. Very nice. Very nice.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Congratulations.
I'm not done.
I'm just kidding. And there's more. Ed, how about you?
I'm an Edward O'Hare TVD.
Brother Bob?
I'm at Bob WTPC.
At Bob WTPC.
That's right.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I am at Wicked Theory on Twitter. The show is at wickedtheory.com and can be found everywhere good podcasts are given away for free, including iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play Music, plus other places. And I guess when you're ready, Bob, take us out of here, man.
The Wicked Theory podcast is heard live every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern until whenever. Just go to mixler.com/wicked-theory. Mixler is MIXLR. Sign up to join the chat. Then click the follow button to get reminders whenever the show goes live. You can find the show on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, wherever good podcasts are given away for free, and at wickedtheory.com. You can support the show at patreon.com/wickedtheory. There you can get the after show if you miss it live. God forbid. Plus other exclusive episodes. As always, send your emails to podcast@wickedtheory.com.